At Seattle Credit Union, we believe in our communities and the people we serve. The path to U.S. citizenship can be expensive, which is why we offer citizenship loans to cover the costs associated with this process. We also offer a fee-based alternative for each citizen loan type for people who would prefer not to pay any interest. Visit seattlecu.com to learn more, or give us a call at 855-575-9352 to speak with a friendly loan expert to get started today. Seattle Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Right away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3730. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hart. And you are in the Men's Room. But today we celebrate International Beer Day. Hell, on a Bad Choice Friday.
Yeah,
that means we're going to drink all day. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
Drinking the junk. All right, here we go to Florida, where 18-wheeler cooks Thanksgiving dinner for 10,000 families in need. Meanwhile, a Florida woman says her husky named Loki is a hungry dog indeed. Scientist uses his Gumbo telescope to spot objects far out in space. Goat needing a new necklace goes into a jewelry store and finds a perfect pendant in a case. And a Houston resident smelled the cow parts they don't barbecue. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours on a positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
Now, look, I have a friend in Orlando, Florida. He's been working at the Big and Tall store for men for years now, and he's done a good enough job that he now manages his own shop. Now, Big and Tall stores, of course, they cater to men who are unusually tall or wide, and then offers them the chance to wear normal or designer clothes built for their frames, right? Well, my friend, he has always met with skepticism because he's 5'4" at the Big and Tall store. And he'll tell you that every customer he deals with tries to ignore his tiny stature. He said that's a nightmare every single time. But that's how it goes, whether it's a family member, a friend, coworker, random person on the street. If you have to interact with someone, sometimes there's something about them that you try to ignore. You ever stare down someone who's cross-eyed? It's a strange experience. You ever work with a close talker who also has chronic halitosis? We have, and I'm here to tell you, it's not awesome, but you can't say anything. Have you ever had to hug someone with a neck full of skin tags? Well, it's unsettling, especially when you're a child and it's your aunt and she always pulls you close. I hated it. But in a civilized world, well, guess what? We try to be polite and we don't say anything. Well, most of us don't. We go to Australia, where a one-star restaurant review stirred up controversy, and it involved a coffee shop. Now, the review did not complain about the food, it didn't complain about the service, didn't complain about the cleanliness. The problem, it seems, from the customer's perspective, is that they were uncomfortable because the barista has Tourette's syndrome, and his involuntary tics made them so uncomfortable they left without paying. And that's pretty bad. But then posting about it, that makes it worse. But inevitably, this is what we deal with in the world. We've all been there. We've done interviews in this very studio where a very attractive woman, everyone had struggled out to stare at her nipples. I mean, they were just there. In fact, we had to Photoshop them out before we could post the picture. We used to know a guy that we saw 3 or 4 times a week, and he would talk to you, nice enough guy, but he had a weird, inexplicable lump on his head.
And like a horn.
But you couldn't stare at it when you talked to him. You know, you try to keep your eyes focused.
You just wanted to pop it.
You really did. It's kind of like Lemmy Kilmister, right? It was like that. So that's what we're talking about today, man. It can be some lazy eye, bi, a stutter, a lisp. On and on it goes, man. But today we just want to know, what did you just piece together who that was today? Yeah. No names. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible at the time?
Be a part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Ring in the relaxation in 2023 with Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa facial services. Tailored to your individual skincare needs, their facials will give you radiant, healthy, glowing skin. Introductory pricing starting at $79.95. Restore, relax, and reset at any one of the 8 Seattle area Hand and Stone Massage and Facial Spa locations, or search for the location nearest you and book online. Restrictions apply. See spa for details.
At Valentine Roofing, we love our customers, and our customers love the service they receive. That's probably why we've won several awards, including the Angie Super Service Award, Next Door Neighborhood Favorite Award, and the Howe's Best of Service Award. From roof cleaning, gutter installation, to roof replacement, our promise to excellent customer service begins with the very first phone call. This Valentine's Day, we want to return the love with a free material warranty upgrade and priority scheduling based on your schedule. Go to ValentineRoof.com and enter promo code LOVEMyRoof.
Black History Month has officially begun. But if you're looking for uplifting Black stories year-round, check out my podcast, Beyond Black History Month. I'm Famie Redwood, and with this year being the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, there will be lots of stories with all the icons.
Hip-hop was something that was just the most creative thing ever because it was just born really out of nothing.
Listen and subscribe to Beyond Black History Month on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is trying to contain her rage.
Michelle throws an elbow.
She's leaving for the couch.
Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Home and tell us, away we go. Welcome to season 17, episode number 3730. What a large and in charge program we have for you today on this beautiful Positive Friday. Positive. Guaranteed future repeat, the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC. Steve and I were up way too late last night coming up with rhymes and tongue twisters for Ted. You know, Mike, I don't know if you know this or not, but that filing cabinet that kind of is behind me.
Oh, yeah.
I actually put some files in there.
Oh, do you?
One of them, in fact, is Ted versus the FCC. So whenever we get a Ted versus the FCC that is submitted from a listener, I just throw it in the file. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
But every once in a while, we'll get, I don't know, sometimes 5, 6, 7 a week, right?
Sure.
So, but we only do Ted versus the FCC one time a week.
Correct.
So we cannot get to all of them. So I was going through some of the ones that we never got a chance to get to.
Always good to have a backup.
And I came across this one. I'm not even sure if this guy is still alive. His name is Roger, the substitute teacher.
Okay.
This Ted versus the FCC, ladies and gentlemen, was submitted April the 7th, 2015. That is correct. We have never done this one. It's brand new to us. It's brand new to Ted. It might be 7 years old, but still, we're going to give you a chance to try to beat Roger. Maybe he's moved on. Maybe Roger is a full-time teacher now. Because isn't that the ultimate goal if you're a substitute teacher?
I would think
you're
not.
Like a full-time. Well, because you always have to be on the ready. You can't have a regular job.
Right, but you don't have to substitute teach.
What?
I'm saying you don't want to be a full-time teacher if you sub. Like, I would consider subbing, like, sure, man, sit in class, tell
And hope
kids to
maybe you
shut
just
up.
have like 3 days in a week where you have to work, so you get the other 4 off.
Not even that, just to mess with kids. But yeah, under no circumstance would I want to be a teacher.
All right, okay.
At the math, all the substitute teachers were mainly just guys that coached.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Just came in and put a video on. I love those people.
Someone, right? I can think of one guy, like, we all loved him. He was the offensive line coach. Like, he worked and did other stuff at the school, too. But it was like, because sometimes teachers have to leave in the middle of the day for their own families. And, like, if you saw him come in, it was like, yes, we're going to watch something.
I got to listen to, Eddie Murphy's Delirious. You know why? Substitute teacher. Hey, y'all, I know you're only in 8th grade, but I got it on cassette. We were like, cool, play it, man.
I'm pretty sure everybody that I knew was listening to that when it came out.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how old you were.
But you couldn't have your parents around.
Yeah, Richard Pryor was a little bit different for some parents, but yeah, that was a green light. Eddie Murphy somehow got the green light on it being okay. I don't realize, I think they just knew him from Saturday Night Live. They didn't know how dirty he really was. Like, as far as a stand-up routine goes.
Well, sure. But, I mean, look, it depends how you're introduced to someone. You know, when I was growing up, Sanford and Son was on. And Red Fox was just this funny old man who complained a lot. And my parents were like, dude, he's one of the filthiest but funniest comics.
Sure.
And then I finally, when I got a little older, I'm like, you know what, let me listen to Red Fox. And the first line I hear is, you ever been hit in the back of the head with a brick while performing?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And I was hooked. Hey. I'm like, this guy's good. Hey, you ever been hit in the back of the head while you...
Good times. Oh, let's see what else. Coming up for you, more Men's Room every Monday through Friday. We offer that to you in the form of the Men's Room Happy Hour, available exclusively on the Odyssey app. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. Then search for the Men's Room Happy Hour channel. That only goes live at 6 when we go on the air. Keep in mind, that is an explicit segment of the Men's Room, as we don't have to go with the same rules as we do when we're on the air as far as the FCC is concerned. Yeah. So topic's a little bit different, and so is the language on that. So keep that in mind if you happen to be listening to that with kids in the room or whatever the deal is. Don't do that. I have a feeling today, from what I understand, we're going to be celebrating International Beer Day.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, excellent.
On the Men's Room Happy Hour. And speaking of that, we're also going to celebrate International Beer Day on a Bad Choice Friday.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Come on. And what better way to do so than with a little Toby Keith?
Red Solo Cup, I fill you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party.
Also a great video.
It's like an instructional song.
Red Solo Cup, I lift you up. Proceed to party.
Not too far off from a children's song.
Yeah, no.
I mean, it could be like an 8-year-old birthday party.
Easily. If you had different lyrics, you would never know.
Mike, you would not know anything about that, but I believe it's either way. Yeah.
Beer runs down.
Is that where there's cake?
Well, that, my friend.
Cake, toys.
Ice cream. Yeah, people get gifts.
Pinatas.
Yeah. Toby Keith and Red Solo Cup taking on Luke Combs on a Bad Choice Friday.
I hear what he's saying, but to be fair, a beer's never hooked me up sexually either, so it's...
We told Ryan Cowthorne who knew this day, says, fun fact, I hate country music.
I used to, man. I love this damn song. I mean, I went and saw them in concert.
Truth be told, I have never heard either one of those two songs before until we just played them right now.
This one is a jam.
I've never heard either one. I mean, I know Red Solo Cup.
I know the name.
I just don't think I've ever heard the song. I didn't realize it was so, like, Presidents of the United States. You know what I mean?
Right.
You never actually heard the song?
No.
Well, thanks for putting in the work.
Exactly, right? Will it be Red Solo Cup from Toby Keith? Or Beer Never Broke My Heart from Luke Combs?
Let's go, Luke.
Yeah. Here's how you vote. You just got to follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. One of those two tunes are coming up, and Steve and I will leave and go outside and smoke cigarettes.
Mike and I usually they're responsible, too. The song wins. We're crushing beers.
Get it done.
And today we're going to talk about the awkward, the weird. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? We can start as we go back to Baltimore on this one. There was some staff cuts that would happen every single year at the end of
at Christmas.
It's just right before Christmas.
Happy holidays, you're fired.
Mm-hmm. Right. And this one particular year, pretty close to the end of our time there, they decided that they were going to get rid of our producer, who was a hardworking guy. He would come in, do everything for us, basically set up all the interviews, tell us what we did wrong, and help us prep the show and all that stuff, and bring us coffee when we were hungover. He was a very responsible person. We were not very responsible people, so he kind of was he was the glue that kind of helped us just keep our heads on straight and do most of the stuff on the show for sure. All right, well, they fired his ass. So we come in one day, and we actually knew. We had a heads up. We had an IT guy. Never piss off an IT guy. No. We had an IT guy came up to us probably about 2 weeks before that and said, hey, they're going to fire your producer. And we went, no, they're not. How do you know that? Well, I saw the email. I'm like, oh, God. Right. Oh, no. You've got to be kidding me. So they get rid of him. But they had a plan B. Plan B had the worst breath of any human being that I've ever met in my life. You could smell his breath with his mouth closed. Yeah. It was, and we were in a studio with a closed door. Mm-hmm. So, it was the fart that never disappeared. It just hung there. And anytime you would just hope that he didn't have to answer the phone or ask you a question or anything like that, because once his mouth opened,
it was bad. It was awful.
It was absolutely
and you also hadn't noticed for like a week or two, right? Because Thrill and I had worked with him in other capacities,
doing other things.
Yeah, and so I feel like one day he wasn't even talking.
That's what he was.
And I think I might be wrong, but I think you were like, "What is that smell?"
Oh, did I?
The dude's mouth was closed. He was just breathing through his nose.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know, and the only reason I knew was his breath, because it never smelled different. It just always smelled bad. But like bad. You know, like rotten chicken never smells different. It just smells it. But it's like that.
But most of the time, like the way the studio's configured right now, we are all facing you, Mike. So the three of us are facing you. Okay, but if
it should be.
But Steve's talking this way. I'm not smelling Steve's breath or Ted's breath. Now, if your breath was bad, I'd smell yours because you're across and you're talking to us.
It shouldn't travel that far.
Right. That's a long distance.
This is his distance.
His was like a baseball pitch. It can travel 60 feet.
He's like at home plate and he's hitting balls to right field, left field, up the middle. I mean, no matter where he turned his head, it was like this, just this of just the worst,
so bad,
rotten mouth. I don't know how in the hell he was married,
and she was hot,
and she was attractive. Mm-hmm. I'm not even sure how this happened. It was the damnedest thing I've ever. I mean, it was. I can't even describe it.
But you had to ignore it.
You did.
I mean, it's just it is what it is. You're not here to make the guy feel bad,
right?
And look, we've worked with multiple people that there's something where you're like, why do I see this person's butt every day? Right? Why does this happen?
Look, it happens to me. I don't want to say where because I pretty much but it happens to me every week, a couple times a week at a place that I go to on the regular in my neighborhood. There is a situation where I will see a gentleman's ass a lot of the time in a professional situation. I'm not talking about somebody who's taking a nap on the side of the block. You know what I'm talking about?
But you know you're going to.
Yes.
Because it's one specific person.
Oh, yeah. Without question.
Why do I see a butt?
I mean, I know it. Every time. Doesn't matter if it's the winter. It doesn't matter if it's shorts. It doesn't matter if it's jeans, corduroys. It doesn't matter. It's just where he wears his pants. That portion.
Not on his butt.
Yeah. The crack starts and then lower down is where the pants stop with a butt. You know,
there's cheeks showing. It's like, come on.
Also, at that old place we used to work with, and I worked with this guy for a number of years, and he's a great guy, and I would tell him to stop it all the time because he's like, I didn't even know I was doing it. But his eye would just take off on you. Right. It was just the one, and you would follow it like you were supposed to look there with him. And so I'd always turn, and I was like, God damn it, Greg, because his eye would just take the hell off, man. Yeah. I didn't even know. And I'm like, you have to know you can see directly left, can't you, right now? He's like, well, yeah, can't you? And I'm like, no, I'm not looking left. No, IMAX. I can't. I can't. It was insane.
Oh, yeah.
And then my other buddy who worked there, I told you, this was a weird one. I was amazed by this. And I've told the story before. But he had a plastic eye. Mm-hmm. All right. And he's the guy who left the plastic eye on the board, called the hotline. I pick up the hotline. Is my eye on the board? Oh, my God, Mark. Yes. Yes, it is. I could not stop staring at this thing. But when he had it in, okay, it was very, very realistic.
Sure.
To the point where you almost stared at it because you couldn't believe how realistic it was.
But not until you found that it was
until
fake.
You could see the other eye move.
Right.
But you realize that this thing is dead locked into you, you know? But when you looked at it, I mean, it's a dead ringer for the other eye. I swear to God. I mean, it was.
So if you didn't know, would you know? Like, if you did not know in advance, do you think you'd have been staring at his eye?
Yes, because everything he did was like this.
Oh, okay. Well,
he would hold up everything.
I mean, look, I have a buddy. His one eye is that a lazy eye? I don't know. But like, I can't remember. One of the sides of his eye, he can't see out the side. So like, if he's talking to you, it's just weird to still have to like turn his whole body.
Okay. Right.
Right. So like, it's not super because when he's straight on, you would never notice. It's just when I think it's his left side and he has to turn his whole body. And then my one friend was like, what's up with him, man? Is he okay? I was like, yeah, he's fine. You just never noticed before.
Man, I dated a cross-eyed chick for a little while, but it's one of those deals where her eyes wouldn't always cross. Like sometimes she looked focused, other times, for whatever reason, they would cross, right? And it'd be weird because like you're making out or whatever, and I would decide like, I'm going to open my eyes because I want to see if her eyes are open. Most of the time, they were not. But I have this image burned into my head. We're kind of making out, and I just couldn't help myself. I'd like pop my eye open, and her eyes popped open. But and keep in mind, you're making out, so you're as close as you can be to someone, all right? Mm-hmm. And she pops her eyes open, and they're crossed, and it's just like, it feels weird kissing you now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like staring at these cross eyes, and I know how it sounds. I don't make any bones about it. I'm like, this is weird.
Okay, all right. Here,
which is also weird is I feel like people pay extra for that.
Okay.
What, cross eyes? While making out?
I got one.
Well, no, wait a minute. I want to know what?
I got one worse than that.
Hold on.
I think it stems.
I have not heard this before, so I'm curious.
You never seen like? Oh man, I don't know if I can say the word. There's a certain type of video where the girls like literally like sit there and look like cross-eyed while they're like.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, it's
that's
a whole
thing.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
I wish I'd known that then. Like, hey, you want to make some money together?
How about this one? When I was with Vader. All right. Okay. That's one of my good friend's sister. She looks exactly like him.
Oh.
So when you're looking someone in the eyes, you're basically seeing your friend. I mean, their facial features were,
Did you call out his name?
All of the kids.
Oh, damn.
All of the kids in the family looked remarkably like their mother. It's just what it was.
Dude, it's fine. I told you I went to high school with a guy. He had a twin. Sorry, she was hot. There was like they're twins. I was like, I get it. Like, you know what? Honestly, if TJ had longer hair and boobs, I'd probably be attracted to him too.
I was just
right.
I was staring into Craig's eyes. Like, oh my God!
Craig, your eyes.
I've got to figure out how to ignore this.
What did you stop kissing her?
What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is trying to contain her rage.
Michelle throws an elbow.
She's leaving for the couch.
Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Shenanigans continue. This is the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
I know it kind of feels like summer's just getting started around here, but back to school's coming. And BJ and Migs, they've teamed up with a Mary's Place for Kicks for Kids. Make sure those kids in need get a pair of brand new sneakers to call their very own. Goal is $20,000. That's going to help most of the kids involved.
Correct.
Who are staying in shelters. Give them the confidence to walk into school and be like, you know what? I got new shoes. Not like my father. They're going to fit.
And I picked my own.
Yeah, they're not going to be like a size.
I like these.
You'll grow into them.
Right.
Well, they're rubbing my feet and I'm getting a blister. $50 buys a pair of sneakers for a kid, $100 for a teenager. There are 200 kids, folks, in shelters who need new shoes for school. So if you can, donate $5, $10, $20, whatever you can. If you got $100 to give, that is awesome. KISW.com as BJ and Migs doing some good along with the fine folks at Mary's Place. Okay, our question today. What did you have to ignore about someone even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Sam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hola!
So I used to work as a vault teller at a bank up on Whidbey Island, and my direct manager there just didn't understand what genital hygiene meant.
Genital hygiene? How did
was it that bad that you knew?
It was that bad. So you could smell her from a distance. Like,
I thought it was a
at
dude.
10 feet, you could smell her.
I thought it was a dude.
Oh, God.
No.
I mean, how long did you work there?
I worked there for a year.
And was she consistently stinky for the year?
Oh, yeah. No, this was something we all talked about behind her back all the time because we didn't know how to address it with her. Like, how do you bring up the fact that I can smell
I can smell your vagina.
Are you sure that was what it was? That you can identify?
I'm positive, man.
Are you sure? Had you ever smelled another one that smelled like that?
You can tell. That's an easy. That is an easy.
When we would send out cash shipments on Fridays, we would have to count all the large denomination bills by hand. You could use a counting machine for the 20s, 10s, 5s, and 1s, but every 50 and 100 had to be hand counted. So for the vault teller that sits behind the safety deposit boxes in another small room, we would have to go sit in there together for about 45 minutes and count that money by hand. And that room's only 3 feet by 7 feet long, so and there's no chairs in there. So when you're counting it, you're sitting on the floor with your legs crossed, like legs open. It was.
Hey, I got a question. I got a couple questions. So would you say you're a vault teller? Does that mean like you deal with, big transactions because you can go into the vault and get the money or deposits or whatever?
Yeah, you're in charge of like all the cash on the teller line for the day. So if somebody needs, like if a teller runs out of money or if they have too much that they're not allowed to have, you just take the excess and put it back in the vault.
Okay. So if
and as a vault teller, you're allowed to have like $10,000 in your box at a time.
All right. So if I'm robbing a bank, I know now to ask for the vault teller, right?
The vault teller.
That's for the big money. Okay. Not the person behind the partition, but like I need the vault teller.
I did not say that.
Okay. So I'm going to assume that within reason. All right. So let's start first with dollar bills, and obviously 100 is the biggest dollar bill you can get. What dollar is the least circulated as far as you could tell within your bank?
Let me guess.
Is it the 50? Is it the 50? Is it the 10? Like, what is the smallest stack?
Right.
You know what I mean? Of a particular bill.
What's the small, like the least circulated?
Yeah, exactly. What is it?
Hundreds. $100
See, I would think there's more hundreds in circulation than 50s.
Yeah, you never see a 50.
You never see a 10. You never see a 2. You never see a 50.
I can tell you that every 10 and 5 and 1 I ever saw was nasty and was the most circulated without question. Then
that's what I mean. It doesn't seem like they make new ones.
50s and 100s are pretty much clean all the time.
All right. What about coins? Is there still a 50-cent piece?
Yeah, there's still a 50-cent piece. It's just what's circulated, though. They don't mint them anymore.
If you want a 50-cent piece, all you have to do is be in line behind someone who just used a 50-cent piece, and I guarantee you back. It will be part of your change.
As a teller, we would grab them. We would always pick them up. Or if silver came in, you could see it in your coin tray because silver doesn't look the same on the edge. It doesn't have that bit of copper inside of it showing.
Yeah.
So those are always worth a lot of money.
So what was that like before 1950? What you would say on the mint?
I don't remember the year. But at one time, we had a lady come in with like $7 in silver in $1 coins, and each one of those coins was an ounce of silver. And at the time, the price of silver was like $28 an ounce. And I looked at her. I was like, I can't give you. Like, I can only give you face value for this. I can only give you $7, and you're giving me like 150 here. And she's like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you.
So,
can I call your husband?
Yeah, I mean, my God.
Do you have a child that I can call? Can I check in on this before you make this transaction?
So genital hygiene. You know what, man, Sam, your story as you talk about genital hygiene, this is exactly why I would never, ever, ever want to, nor am I qualified, work in HR. Right? Because if all of the coworkers come to HR to say, listen, man, we're not trying to disparage her. It's just the point. It's uncomfortable. Listen. We all notice HR is a person. And how do you sit down and say, listen, your employees think your vagina reeks? I mean, how do you broach that topic?
No, okay. All right. There's two things with this. Let's just assume that you're the HR person at the time.
Okay.
And we're friends, but we still work together. Like this.
Are you the one with the problem?
No, I'm going to report someone else.
Okay.
Right? And and it's a man, and his inside his downstairs smells. Right? Okay. I know that I can approach you, number one. That's the most important thing. That I can come to you with this problem.
Sure.
Because you're approachable. Number two, it's going to be really funny for me to know that you have
I have to go
talk to this guy. That will bring me great joy.
But here's the difference. If I'm working in HR, I'm the HR person. And I have to talk to people. And I don't know how this works in HR world.
It's difficult.
You come to me to say, man, I don't know, Ted's got bad genital hygiene. Dude to dude, I can sit down and talk to you. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the best conversation, but it's a lot easier. If you come up to me and say, Sheila has the same problem, I'm just saying as a guy, I don't know how you approach that with her. Like, look, coworkers are complaining. It's this one particular thing. There's a certain area of your body. Like, do you have someone of the opposite gender on call where it's like, look, I'm not doing this. Right? Here's the situation. I understand what it is, but I don't want to talk to her about that because I think she'd feel worse. As opposed to if it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even if
it's just tough because outside of like a friend, you know what I mean? Like generally, it's hard to tell somebody they stink.
It is. But again, HR, like if everyone's complaining about it to the point that it is distracting or an issue, you're the one stuck doing it.
Yeah.
And when it's that specific, it's like, it's one thing. If it's armpits, no problem, man. That's anybody.
Yeah.
And we know our armpits stink. You're aware of that. You know how to wash them. There's deodorant. But I mean, if it's someone of the opposite gender, like, I know I'm supposed to say something. I'm not broaching this.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem in life is what I figured out. You're very delicate with every single person around. If you gave your mom a hug and she's getting up there in years and you could tell that she needed to take a bath or whatever, you'd be like, hey, Mom, we need to get you in the bathtub. You know what I mean? Like, you would be delicate about it. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
With friends, whatever. But for some reason, with your kids, you're like, oh, baby, you reek.
You stink.
God, man. Jesus,
do not hug me.
When is the last time you took a shower? You just absolutely assault someone. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And they're the most vulnerable people. They should be the ones that you're the most gentle with. You know what I mean? But for some reason.
But they're still teachable and they're learning.
I know, but that's not how you teach.
I mean, but you're straight up like.
By demeaning them. You know what I mean? Like,
you can't help it. When you smell that bad, though.
Oh, God. You brushed your teeth this week?
But see, that's what stink does. I am generally very kind with my children, but they'll walk over and it's like,
yeah, well, me too.
Are those your armpits?
Me too.
And I realize this
exactly.
And they're like,
you would never say that to anyone.
Jesus, dude.
You would never say that to somebody like the Home Depot.
No,
buddy, God, look. Is that you? Jesus, man.
You know what? I don't need help.
Are you working in someone's house like that? Holy cow. Don't give me your card.
But your own kids, put your shoes outside.
God almighty.
You step and crap barefoot? What is wrong with you?
I had a second cousin that dated a man that was a large man.
All right.
Right? But he was from the Pittsburgh area.
Okay.
So all summer long, all he wore was tank tops.
Yep.
And he absolutely reeked.
Oh.
Like to the point is like, I remember taking him on a family trip with us to Arlington Cemetery because he wanted to see it.
Okay.
And I remember when he got out of the car, there was just... the seat was wet.
And you can't say anything.
Thank God you didn't have cloth seats.
Well, they did.
Oh,
this is what I'm saying.
God,
I was only like 12 or 13. I mean, this is like this is early 90s. So it was soaked in. But I remember he reeked so bad. And I remember even as a kid being like, to my dad or somebody like, what is, like, can we say? And he's like, no, don't say anything. Like, your cousin really likes him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the way, I mean, he was full on Pittsburgh, Miles. Right. He dipped the whole time.
Yeah.
Sounds like a charming man. Hey, where were you, Ted? This is your story. And I cannot remember. I don't know if it was a stutter or a lisp. I believe it was a lisp. And I think you were with your dad, like Red Lobster or something.
Oh, no, it's with my uncle. He's going to be in town next week. And we were at Outback Steakhouse.
That's right.
If you've ever been to an Outback Steakhouse, I don't know if they still do it. Again, this was years ago. But they give you a speech about their 17 secret seasonings that they put on their steaks. Yeah. Right, so the poor girl has a list, but she's working at a steakhouse with all these different seasonings. And then she keeps going through it, and my uncle is like kicking me under the table. I'm like, will you stop? Right? And then he kept asking her specific
like
questions.
Like specials or something?
Yeah, like specials, like are the fried shoestring. Right? Like any S word he could mix in. He is mixing it in. Oh, man. Like I'm smiling, but almost because I feel so bad.
Right. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do at the time? 206-421-ROB.
They shoestring.
I mean, it was something like, I mean, you know, my family's very nice, but they will never miss an opportunity to lightly jab and keep kind of giving you the business.
Sockeye salmon, man.
Right.
Spicy shrimp saute.
Right. Everybody will have a Sprite. A what?
7 Sprites.
I guess we just couldn't get over, like, why a steakhouse with 17 seasonings?
Is the sirloin seasoned?
See, right. There any Saturday specials? Right. See, now you guys sound like the Smith.
Yeah, Caesar salad.
Right.
Can you read my last name? Smith?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that doesn't help. Can I get a Seegers with 7-Up?
And a Caesar salad. The Seagram's and 7-Up.
Any strawberry shortcake?
All right. It's a table of like 12 people. I mean, right, like she has to give this speech.
No. Oh, man.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I want to start out through the easiest way for AHR, or was it Miles? One of you two was like, who in HR would you have talk about, somebody who's having that problem?
Sure.
There's two ways HR really goes about doing that. Either your company has monthly meetings, or they put them out in, like company spread emails like, hey, just make sure you bathe.
Wash your junk. Somebody here made a good point. They said, look, when you work in HR, particularly if it's someone of the opposite sex, always have kind of the corporate witness in there with you, and that other witness is of the other gender.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Right? So if a chick has to talk to a dude, bring in a witness who's a dude. If a dude's talking to a chick, to bring it. That makes sense. See, that's why I don't work HR, because I didn't even think of that.
I would just feel so uncomfortable. I wouldn't want...
Miles, you're going to this meeting.
I do not want to go to work that day.
Oh, if you know you have to talk to him?
Yeah.
Sheila, Tony needs to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, what did you have to deal with, Chris?
So I think it's everybody else who has to deal with me. I have psoriasis.
Yes, sir. And what exactly is that? That's like large patches of dry skin, for lack of a better explanation?
Yeah.
All right. How severe is it? Is it like on your arms? Is it on your face?
I mean, aside from my face, I have a beard, so that kind of helps, but roughly 70 to 80% of my body.
Wow. All right.
So does that mean it looks like you have dandruff all the time?
Oh, yeah.
So
you and black friends do not have a healthy relationship.
You need some coconut butter, brother. So
you wear white clothes everywhere.
Yeah. So here's my question, though. As you go through your day to day, right? Just, I don't know, grocery store, sitting in a restaurant, how many times do you catch people either staring at you, or can you tell that they're trying not to stare?
It's about half and half.
Okay. And how often do you have like a regimen you have to do? Do you have to lotion every day? I mean, I lotion every day, but not like that.
I mean, I try everything. Ointments, like tar-based ointments, are usually the ones that it doesn't make it go away, but it makes it burn less, if you will, or itch less.
Okay, so you do.
So you're in discomfort as well, really.
But really, the only thing, and I haven't done it yet, basically because it lowers your immune system, are injections that you can get that has been proven to help like dramatically.
And is this something that's hereditary? Is it something that happens to people over time?
It's hereditary.
Okay. Now, one more thing. When you get into salt water, or you go to a different climate where the air is different, where there's humidity or anything like that, does that change anything about how your skin reacts?
Yeah, it can. And I recently moved to California, but I thought, that's going to be good for me because more sun out there. UV light is good for it, but it's so damn hot out here.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to get out in the sun.
Yeah, that's kind of the trade-off for that.
Exactly. Okay.
All right, and is it something where certain months or weeks or days are worse than others? Or is it pretty consistent?
Like I mean, during the wintertime was probably the worst.
Really?
See, I would have thought that would have been better.
You know why? Because it's dry.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the moisture-wise, it's just the air is dry.
All right.
So like
and there's no sun out.
Yeah, I have skin stuff too, man. I mean, the woman gives me all these different creams and stuff.
Sometimes skin stuff.
Sometimes it burns.
At least he can identify psoriasis. You go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing, Chris, if it makes you feel better. You say you have psoriasis, I'm like, all right, man. Miles says skin stuff. Miles seems gross to me.
Yeah.
You don't.
Do you remember
what is skin stuff?
Remember like 2 weeks, like I walked in here, like my eyes were all puffy and like flaky eyes and all that crap. I'd go and get some cream because my face blew up. I have no idea.
What do they think that is from, though?
I have no idea. I really don't know. She just gave me the cream. I'm like, here, your face exploded. Like, all right, well. And then it went away. It was like, okay. The cream burned like hell, you know what I mean? And then Like
I did not know that psoriasis also hurt the person with psoriasis.
Oh, it burns. Oh,
I did not know. Like, I see all the commercials late night, which commercials for lots of things late night. And the only thing they ever seem to talk about, at least as far as what I absorb, is to make it go away or, lessen how visible it is. It all seemed very cosmetic. So I did not realize that if you had it, it also brought you discomfort.
Especially in the shower. Like, as soon as I turned and put my face in the shower, I was like, ah! Sucked.
Yeah, I did not know that.
Yeah. What did you have to ignore about someone even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Maggie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
I love your show.
Oh, thank you so
much. We love you, Maggie.
Again, Miles, you're projecting your love on these women who you've only just spoken to. It's weird. It's good. Get your restraining order now, Maggie.
Okay.
It's okay. My boyfriend loves your show, too.
Wonderful. Tell him we love him, too.
Yeah, we love him. That's
that love's real.
What a large wiener he has.
Well, can't comment, but sure.
Wiener.
Right. Big wiener.
I worked
Like one of them big bites down at 7-Eleven. A quarter-pound dog.
Sick.
We call him Big Bite. Call him Mariner Dog.
Here comes Maggie and Big Bite.
You're going to see them tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see.
What did you have to ignore about someone, Maggie?
I worked on a 777 plane at Boeing, and I guess I did my job too well because they moved me to the division that did engines, propulsions, and because I did all my job on the other portion. And they assigned me to this row of computers and desks that only one girl was in. And I found out why. It's because her everything stunk like crazy.
Ew.
It was, you turned the corner from the tall walls, the dividers between the rows.
Yeah.
And then they had short ones every couple rows so that each section could be talked to back and forth, and then they divide them by tall walls so they wouldn't have to listen to the other side. Well, she was the only one in this section, and they put me in there. And it was, the minute you turned around the wall, it just like a wave of like a garbage heap came at you.
When you say everything, the only thing I can think of everything is like an everything bagel.
Right.
Like when you say like her whole person smelled.
Yeah, everything.
So it's like armpit, vagina.
Well, you don't know. It's a
bad hair.
All of it.
You could almost see it rising off of her. And she was very young. She was like 22 or 23. And it turns out she'd been homeless since she was like 11.
Oh, damn.
And, so I thought, I can't work this way. And the other girls are going, sorry you have to be there, but, somebody's got to be over there doing it, and you're new, so.
Hey, look, man, I did the homeless thing for a couple of months in Baltimore years ago, right? So I finally started to get my act together, and they hired me at a restaurant. No big deal. I saved my money. I get my place. And about 2 months later, they were like, dude, we're so glad you got a place. You smelled so bad.
Thanks.
It's like,
That's
here
awesome.
comes that stinky dude. Like, yeah, my bad, dude. My bad. And it's a variety of aromas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not just armpits or old feet or pee or whatever the hell's out there. Like, because I never smelled myself, right? I didn't know. And I didn't realize everyone else in the kitchen's like, Jesus Christ, this guy smells disgusting. Like, my bad. But no one told me at the time, but they told me after the fact. I'm like, I appreciate that, man. I'm sorry, I was that guy.
In a kitchen.
Oh, I know.
This food smells awful, but tastes delicious.
I like the idea. I bet the only thing coming out of the kitchen is great smells with the other dudes in there, like the guy we work with reeks.
Can't believe it.
What did you have to ignore about someone even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
And she's leaving for the couch. Taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is trying to contain her rage.
Michelle throws an elbow.
She's leaving for the couch.
Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, the podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, yeah! International Beer Day. Coming up, we will drink and toast into the weekend with a shot of the day. It's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Come on. And a salute to International Beer Day with Toby Keith.
Red Solo Cup. I fill you up. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. I love you, Red Solo Cup. I lift you up.
Yeah. Toby Keith, the Red Solo Cup, taking on Luke Combs.
Never broke my heart. Like diamond rings and football teams have torn this boy apart. Like a neon dream, it just don't know me. The bars in this guitar and long neck ice cold beer never broke my heart.
Yeehaw. Woo. Get thirsty. Will it be Luke Combs and beer never broke my heart? Like his favorite football team. What do you think his favorite football team is?
I think it might be Appalachia State.
Oh, the Mountaineers.
Yeah. Carolina boy.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've seen him in the locker room with them singing. They're all singing this song.
They beat Michigan that one year. I'll take it on Toby Keith and Red Solo Cup. Here's how you vote. Follow us on Twitter at Men's Room Live. One of those two tunes coming up right after we drink and toast with a shot of the day. Okay, let's see here. An upset cafe boss has rushed to defend one of his employees after a nasty online review criticized the barista's disability. Adam Kakati, owner of a cafe in Southwest Sydney, said that this woman is the best barista in town despite suffering from Tourette syndrome. However, angry customers said that tics, the involuntary noises and movements, caused them to leave the cafe without eating or paying for their food because they were uncomfortable. Here we treat all of our staff and customers like family. We want to address how we feel about the incident that occurred over the weekend. We welcome and support anyone with a life-changing condition. The defensive boss later said the review made him so angry because it doesn't really help with anything in the condition is concerned.
No, it wasn't the food. It wasn't the service. It's not the cleanliness. Nothing. Just a guy with Tourette's who worked there made them uncomfortable. And it's not like he sat down on their table and berated them.
Our question, what did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-RON.
Yeah, I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a dude. Like, come on, man. Hello, Russell. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
Hey, back in the 80s, I was stationed in Germany way back when. I was stationed with this girl. She had a cleft palate.
Mm-hmm. And how much did you have to interact with her?
She was like a corporal, and I was like a specialist or something. She was a couple ranks. She was like our clerk at over at Stuttgart.
Yeah.
And she was fine. I mean, she was fine except for she would talk to you with a cleft palate, you know, and you couldn't look away.
Yeah, I mean, and you're not trying to be rude.
Right.
It's not that. And that's why you don't bring it up. And the thing is, though, she knows.
Mm-hmm. I worked with a woman for years that had one, and it got to the point where I didn't even notice it anymore. It was not that. It was just she was so annoying.
Yeah, you told me about her. Just as a human being.
Nothing to do with that. Right. You know what I mean? That was the least of the problems. It was just like, oh my God. And her name was Karen.
Of course. I will say one thing I've tried to ignore. I'm trying to phrase this. There is a restaurant that you can go to, fast food, all right? And there was a dude behind the counter. He's making food. It is very, very hot. There are a lot of people in there, and he's sweating profusely. And I'm kind of staring at it because he's standing over open food, as it were. And I'm like, I'm letting it go because, look, dude, it's hot. I worked in kitchens. Yeah. I promise you I've sweat in your meal. If I've ever cooked for you, there's sweat in my meal. It's fine. Kind of let it go. The difference is the places I work, we would also cook your food. This is not a place where they're cooking your food. They're just making it for you as you go along.
I see.
All right. And so he's kind of dripping sweat, and I'm blowing it off. And then at one point, he's talking to a customer in front of me. And they started saying something. He did that telltale sign where he's got to sneeze. And to his credit, he turned around, but I realized he just kind of sneezed into the crook of his elbow. Mm-hmm. And turned around, he's like, oh, excuse me, man, sorry. And just got back to making the food. And at that point, I said, I can't. I can't. You know what I mean? Like, I was okay with the sweat thing. Yes. And I'm like, fine. I get it, man. Whatever. And it was packed. But when he did the sneeze, and again, there's not much he could do. I understand. But I mean, it's just at the crook of his elbow. And I'm like, I can't do this now. I've been trying to deal with the sweat, man, but the sneeze, I'm like, no.
Would you like to add anything?
No.
Nah,
no.
You know what? I'm not even hungry.
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
What did you have to ignore about something or someone, even though it was impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Yeah, you ever know a toucher?
A toucher?
What do you mean, like when they talk, they keep touching, kind of thing?
Yeah.
On occasion. Not often, but I always notice or realize, like, okay, this is just one of these touchy guys.
Yeah, I guess I just knew somebody, and like I wasn't really tight friends with him. He was friends with another friend.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't care for him, but he's always touching. And I think one night we were drinking. I was like, "Stop effing touching me." I was like, "We're not like I might have just said like we're not even that good of friends. Why are you touching me?"
What is this response? I imagine he just shut down, man.
He did.
He probably broke his heart. Too.
I don't think. Well, again, I didn't like him.
Oh, so it's okay to hurt his feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Look, he knew everything. He'd touch you to let you know that he knew everything.
One of those guys. Okay. Do you know that you keep touching me? You know that? I like this one. It says, one of my daughter's playmates' mothers has a full mustache. Couldn't stop looking at it. We've all been there.
I dated a woman with a mustache.
You bragging?
Yeah.
How long did you date her?
4 years.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
And she had a mustache. Did she ever shave it, or was it just like she just rocked her mustache and that's it?
I mean, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, a little faint one's not a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Was it a faint one, or was it like...
Yeah, I mean, depends on how the sun hit it.
Right.
It's like anything else. Like, look, wait, hold on.
Oh, look at her over there glistening.
Hold on, look. Walk into my place right now. You go like, you know what, man, this place is pretty clean. If I open up the blinds and the sun hits the floor, you'd be like, dude, you need a vacuum.
Right, get all the dust. I get it.
Sure.
I'm just saying it really just depends on how the sun hit it.
But I don't
so, like, if she's driving and you looked over and the sun's out, you're with Tom Selleck.
Beads of sweat, different things would kind of accentuate it.
Somebody here says, wait, Thrill, you're saying you never got any snot when you were cooking beer. I never said I didn't sneeze in your food, Jack. I just said when I witnessed the guy do it, I'm not eating it. I've done horrible things to people's food.
Well, again, and
I'm in a closed kitchen, but hell yeah, I'm sure I've probably coughed in people's food. I probably drooled in people's food.
But I think you set it up correctly, too, is that, like, you're in a kitchen where you're making all the food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As opposed to, like...
And we cook it out at that point.
Right,
I never sneezed on someone's meal.
Or like a salad place where they're just, like, leaned over, like, the spinach and stuff, dripping.
Yeah, that's all. No, you're right. I've done all kinds of things to people's food, man. You just didn't know.
What did you have to ignore about somebody even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
I don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Like if somebody said we can line up every cook and chef that's ever made you food in a restaurant.
Oh my God.
I'm like, no, I don't want to know. Because one of them somehow I inadvertently pissed off. Something was in my food.
But to the guy that's asking, or woman that's asking, what I will tell you is the few times that I worked in an open kitchen or worked in the open part of the kitchen, you're very cognizant of the fact that people are watching you.
Yeah.
Because they're mesmerized by what you're doing, whatever it might be. So, like, if you had to do something like sneeze, you knew this 20 seconds, you put your stuff down and disappeared in the back. And maybe I sneezed on your hot food in the back, but you would never see me sneeze directly in my workplace. But yeah, if I'm behind the wall, who knows? I don't know. Scampy's ready. Hello, Harrison.
I like Scampy.
I do too.
Positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
How you boys doing?
Doing great, man. It's a positive Friday.
Hey, so the weird thing I saw, I pulled up to the gas station to pump my gas, right? Everything's normal. There's a guy pumping his gas right in front of me. Then I look down, and his feet are backwards.
What do you mean, like they're facing behind him?
His heels are in front where his feet should be, and his feet are backwards.
Was he wearing his shoes wrong?
No, his feet were backwards, man. I'm not kidding you. I had like triple taken, like not doing anything and keep a straight face. It was not okay.
Did you find did you find that you tried not to stare at him, or did you do the thing where you act like you're looking somewhere else, but really you're staring at him?
I've got really good peripheral vision, so I was staring at his backwards feet the whole time.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think that's what most people would do.
It's not okay. I freaked out, man.
Well, again, you don't expect it, and you're not trying to.
I got a question. I got a quick question. Sorry, not trying to cut you guys short. You remember when you guys did the roast of Steve Miggs down there?
Yeah. Sure.
You remember that lady that was laying next to you guys' party bus, just screaming, "Miles, Drill!" That drunk chick that was laying there on the sidewalk.
I don't think they were out there at the time.
Don't remember that.
You don't remember? Okay, I had to check just because that might have been somebody I know, but.
Was it your mom?
So apparently it was somebody you know.
She was laying down next to the party bus?
Yeah, she broke through the fences somehow and just was laying next to you guys' party bus back there.
Is this
a big old giant bus you had?
Would this be her MO? I don't recall that at all.
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio.
I didn't even hear about it. I have no idea.
And please keep those words in mind when calling. Now back to the program.
Can I be honest with you? We went up there with Rich's bus. If it was a giant bus.
If it was a giant
we
bus.
were on a small shuttle bus that we rented from Rich.
No, we weren't.
I thought we were on a little one to go to Meigs.
I think that's a full-size bus.
Oh, is it? It was a full-size bus, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right.
I don't doubt that happened.
That's right, because we had to turn around on BJ's driveway and it took forever.
Right. I just don't remember us being... I don't remember that.
I don't think any of us were on the bus at the time. No. One of us would remember that, if that's what happened at the bus. So we may have been inside doing the roast.
Or it might have been afterwards. Like, I was at the Circle Bar for a minute chatting it up with people.
That's a good point. That's kind of funny, though. I feel bad that no one was there to say hi.
That makes it worse. It's one thing if you're like outside screaming at a bus and people are in there, but if nobody's, I'm like, oh, now I feel bad for her.
Hello, church. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. So I had a worker that I used to work with, and he had the worst teeth. Like, he was missing 2 or 3 of them in the front, looked like a hillbilly, and because he was higher in rank than me, I had to ignore it. And every time he just would do this open grin smile that just looks like maybe you should be going up there and, doing moonshine or something like that. But, yeah.
I wouldn't equate moonshine necessarily to missing teeth, but...
Everyone does, because you equate it to Appalachian. You equate Appalachian to people missing teeth.
Missing teeth, correct, yes.
But you said he was a higher rank, you couldn't say anything. Say he's a lower rank, you still don't say something.
It's common courtesy, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a couple people like that where you're like, wow, dude, what
it's just weird because you realize...
What didn't happen there?
Give me the short answer. What did not happen to your mouth?
That's a pretty good idea.
Because you're right. At that point, every time they talk, you're staring at their mouth and not their face. And it's so hard, man, because I assume anyone who's got something going on, you're probably aware of it because either people made fun of you back when you were a kid, whatever, right? So you do what you can to at least look them in the eye. But we had a coworker years ago, and this particular person, every time you saw her, you would think she was in a state of excitement, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Just always poking through her. But as a guarantee, every single time, not one time did I talk to this woman where she wasn't just nipping out. Not once.
Oh, that was...
But the thing is, she was real nice, and you were kind of sitting down at your desk, and she's standing beside you talking to you. And we would even warn each other, like, hey, so-and-so is coming around, man, so just, honest to God, try not to stare at her nipples. And it's good. It sounds stupid. But it was hard. It really was, man.
It was difficult not to look.
It was really difficult not to look.
We also had a woman...
And I would sneak a few peeks, but generally speaking, I tried to maintain eye contact.
There was a woman in the building that we used to work with. Not with, but she worked in the same building as us. She wore the tightest pants you've ever seen in your life, every single day. No matter what the pants were, they were tight. You could see the outline of her lady parts.
Oh, I mean, we're talking through denim.
You could see the outline. Anything she wore. You could see it was almost like just don't even wear pants because it doesn't nothing. It's all right there. It was
And it would suck because she got out and she would smoke, and she was real chatty.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And you don't mind talking to her, but it's like...
It was
trying not to start her vagina.
Very hard not to.
Yeah. You had to say this to each other. Hey, man, here she comes. Let's just keep our eyes up. Let's agree. Right. Just keep your eyes up. And she just chat. And it's like
someone with a low cut shirt. You really try hard.
You try, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I used to work with this.
I've had that with like people I've known and like their girlfriends.
Oh God, yeah.
Right. And it's like they show up. I don't know whether it's a tank top or Halloween or whatever. And it's like, I'm so not cool about it that I'm like actively like talking to him like this. And I've had twice like a boyfriend be like, it's fine, man. They're huge.
Right. Yeah, go ahead. You're right though.
One guy said, you can look, just don't touch.
Okay. Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. You're right. Halloween is the day. You may have known someone for 10 years, right? Mm-hmm. Oh, whatever, she's cute enough, whatever the deal might be. Well, it's Halloween and I'm going to be the slutty nurse, whatever it is. And I mean, you're just like, oh God, like, if I were anyone else, I could get away with staring, but I know this person.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it's different somehow if I do it. But, like, your boobs they're rocketing toward me. This mini skirt is real tiny, and I know you're dressed up, the slutty nurse and all, but still, yeah, I can make fun. But if it's someone I don't know, just like that outfit.
Here's the grossest thing I've ever seen.
Right, exactly.
This is like I'm saying. This is like a work in progress. When I first got into radio, this guy who was my boss, who was not a very nice guy, he was kind of in charge of the part-timers or whatever, but this was not a job he wanted. He did not want to schedule us. He did not want to put up with people calling in sick. He was just one of those guys, like, this is not what he wanted to do. And by the way, in a Ben Roethlisberger kind of way, he did not want to train you. Mm-hmm. He didn't want to be your mentor. He did not want you to look up to him. Right. He just wanted to be left.
He just wanted you to know how to do it already.
He just do it, and I don't really care what you think. Anyway, so he had this black head in his ear that was the size of a pencil eraser. Yeah. And it was almost indented in there. It was so big and it was so black, it was almost purple. All right? I mean, it was like this huge black hole. And I always wanted to say, like, Dave, do you realize, because I knew he couldn't see it, like, how big that blackhead is in your ear? I mean, every time he turned, you were like, oh, my God. So I worked with this guy for about a year and a half. Okay, so at one point in time, I looked. Because, most of the time, like anything else, Dave's got his headphones on. He did a 4-hour air show. Like, he very rarely. But I came in studio at one point in time, and I looked, and it had started to rise up. Okay? Oh. And it kind of looked like the mountain in Close Encounters. It was like this
Devil's Peak, whatever it was.
Tower of black that was coming out, and it was still like, I mean, like, you never scratched on the inside. You're like, have you washed the inside? If you just flicked it, the tip would come off. Like, it's on its way out. Like, this thing is moving out on its own, man. Like, I mean, I just wanted to be like, God, get it. Like, it's there. It's like you can catch the mouse. You know what I mean? Just grab it.
Did he ever pop it before you stopped working with him?
No, it was just, like, I would look and there would still be some in there. So he never really, I don't think he grasped. You know what I mean? Like, he couldn't see it.
But you gotta know at some point, man.
I mean, have you ever had like a potato roll out of your ear kind of thing?
I have.
Sure. Maybe he just thought it was something like that. I don't know.
Literally, I was sitting with my buddy. That was the first time I heard that thing. And he's like, dude, potato just rolled out of your ear. Like, I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you need a Q-tip.
Yeah.
Good luck.
What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-RON.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with this CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
As she's leaving for the couch, taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Will we see you at Pain in the Grass? Yeah. 3 big days. We're getting close to the end of summer here. Hey! Yeah. Friday, join us. Incubus, Sublime. Saturday, Alice in Chains, Bush, Breaking Benjamin. Woo! Then on Sunday, we close out 3 days of Pain in the Grass. Sammy Hagar, George Thorogood, and our friends in Queensrÿche. Hey! Yes! By the way, I believe there are tickets available for the happy hour and a half party for all 3 days.
Oh, really?
I cannot guarantee you Saturday, but I'm pretty sure that Friday and Sunday exist, but check for Saturday too. KISW.com. You get all kinds of fun stuff. Like a laminate and a reserved seat and a cool T-shirt. Might not even be a T-shirt. I'm not sure about that yet.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. There's some other ideas
I know they have some
floating
stuff
around.
planned.
Yeah.
You also get a beer with us, and probably we'll have some kind of food item there. It's going to be a good time. So check out that package now. KISW.com. Depending on what day we'll see at Pain in the Grass.
You might even get to taste something.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, are you bringing Head Chef's bringing stuff?
No, Ted's walking around pantsless.
Okay, all right. Well, sweet. Grab a big bite of that. KISW.com.
I'll leave you lucky.
I'm more like a ballpark. It plumps when you cook it.
I see. Hopefully it'll be good and warm. I like a good warm weekend. One last one.
Weekend. Okay.
Yeah. I like a warm one. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Couple of quick comments here. We were talking about nipples. Says, I worked with another nurse in an ER whose nipples were always very apparent through her scrubs, and patients started to complain. So she got taken to HR and was told she had to put Band-Aids over her nipples in order to come to her. Hey, I would not be one of those patients that complains.
Dude, we just got one on Facebook from a girl named Allie. Same thing. She's like, I'm that person whose nipples, the woman whose nipples are always hard. I try to be, she's like, so I have to deal with people always looking at my nipples. I try to be very graceful about it. Just something I have to deal with, especially in the warmer months.
I have a friend who, same thing, and she's just like, but she's straight up about it. She's like, I'm nipping out. There's nothing I can do.
I nip all the time.
Look if you want.
I mean, my nipples are out all the time.
Every time I use the bathroom, I nip out.
It's cold in there.
That's weird.
Yeah. Also,
is that really wild?
the long handshake with a guy who keeps the handshake long, but he also has really, really sweaty palms kind of thing. Ever had that?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I used to also date someone who had very sweaty palms, and they were a hand holder. And I just didn't want to hold their hand that much. Like, it didn't matter. It was like if you're in the movies, I mean, wherever. Just like,
you just want to put a sweaty hand in
no
yours.
one's looking. It's not necessary. Like, just stick your hand on my knee or something. Sweat on that.
Dude, no.
Dude, I'm with you. Like, I don't mind holding hands of dating somebody, but, like, I'm with you. Like, my palms get sweaty.
Right.
If it gets sweaty, you just stop.
Oh, yeah,
That's the beauty of marriage. Like, you're sweaty, get away from it.
I have no problem putting my arm around you, offering you affection when we walk down the street and stuff, but to me, like,
he does it to me all the time.
Sometimes, like, holding hands is just like, this is mine.
Right.
I own you, you own me, we're together, do not look at her. You know, it's like, it's just weird, like...
Is that what you get out of people holding hands?
Yeah, just
I don't think they like each other. I don't think there's anything to it.
Yeah, no, I don't. I for some reason, just like, you can't walk down the damn street by yourself.
All right, so you hate it.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm just saying. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, it's just affection.
No, I am, but
I'll come up, give you a big hug, man. Walk a couple steps with you, like give you a kiss on the cheek, man. All right, where we going? But
see, I feel like arm over the shoulder is worse than holding hands.
But it's only for a couple seconds. That's just like coming in.
No,
bro.
some people, man, they walk the distance.
All right, okay.
Arm over each other like that, whatever. But it's like, I assume, new couple.
Aha. Okay,
Right?
all right.
Because you'll see an old couple, they'll still hold hands. Rarely they put their arms around each other to walk.
I think they had an in-between stage where they stopped. And then they went
guaranteed.
back to it.
20 years, they didn't touch each other.
Exactly. They still hated each other.
You can also tell, too. Like, if you're not dating, but you're hanging out with somebody, and first you're like holding hands, then they're like, and I don't hold hands. It's like, all right, this one's about done.
Damn. You ever get the elbow
No.
crook person?
I'm not doing the schlemiel schlemagle thing.
It's too hard to walk, because look, this is what I figured out.
My daughter does that. My daughter does that.
Holding hands, to me, is the easiest way for you to continue to walk the way you normally walk. Even your arm around someone throws off your cadence a little bit, but like I'm walking you down the aisle.
You're dragging me down the shoulder.
Yeah.
I'm with Mike. That would be my
hard
preferred
disagree,
way.
boys.
I don't have to do much.
That's
Just
your
go ahead-
preference?
Yeah, just go ahead and tuck in there.
Really?
My daughter does
Yeah.
that.
No, give me your hand,
I'm like,
man.
get the F off me, kid. Like,
My
what are you
daughter
doing?
does that too. Like leans
What are
all
you
over
doing?
weight. Like
one day I'll be like, I just want a hug from my kid. I used to get one all the time, but you push her away. Ass.
All right, what about, and I have a friend that does this, like, people when you're walking, right? Because, like, all three of us walk a lot in the city.
Yeah.
So I try to be pretty conscious, right?
Yes.
Like, if we're walking side by side and somebody's coming, it's a small sidewalk, I'll either slow down or speed up.
Oh, right.
But they match your pace. And when they start talking, they're almost like so like if I'm on the street side, He'll almost push me in the street, so I'll stop. I'll move to the other side. Then it's like, stop bumping into me. Like, just walk straight. You can talk and walk straight.
Apparently they cannot, Ted.
Think like we're passing someone on a trail.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all. That's all. That's all. I hate that wall. The wall of people.
Yes.
It's typically 4 or 5, and they walk all together like they're clearing, like a plow.
Right.
They're clearing the sidewalk.
They just move.
I literally had a group of 4 run me off the sidewalk.
I'm just like, dude, with no not one of them. Not one of them with any idea what they've done.
And I charged his shoulder and looked back like, well, where did you want me to go?
Oh, my God.
Right,
Yeah.
but like if you're on the corner of a sidewalk and there's like 3 of you sitting there, like
boom,
that one, right? But that one, I go, all right, this caught up in conversation, like that and you can say, excuse me, they'll move. But yeah, the people that walk 3 wide down the street, it's like, what are you doing?
Although I'll argue that
I want to be next to you.
my least favorite walker are the people that stop walking at the very top or very bottom of an escalator. I understand you're trying to recalibrate and figure out where you need to go. We're about to crash it. You've got to keep moving.
I also don't like down escalator, stay there person.
What do you mean?
You're going down, right? The escalator's taking you down. Walk down the damn steps, too.
Or just move to the side.
Right.
I stand on the right.
Get on the right. Stand. That's fine. Same with an airport tram, like if you want to get one on one of those. But I am trying to, this is just the way I need to get down. I'm still trying to get down. Get
just move to the side.
I mean, it depends on
Maybe
the
you don't
day.
wanna walk
Like if
up,
I'm
I
in an
understand.
airport and I'm in a hurry, or I'm just tired of being in the airport as I just got off, I'll go down the stairs. But generally on an escalator, I just sit on the right. Like I'm going to let it do its thing.
As long as you're on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No
Oh
question.
yeah, trust me. And if I'm on there with somebody else, I'm like, you got to be in front or behind. Like keep the left is for passing.
I've taught this to my children.
Just like a road.
Although my children always run up and down escalators. It doesn't really matter.
Oh, really?
Oh, my God, yeah.
What did you have to ignore about someone even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Actually, Ted, it's more like this. If they go on the down escalator, they try to run up. If they go on the up escalator, they try to run down.
Oh, yeah.
Just the guys.
Other kids.
I know.
Until
but
the shoelace.
other people.
Until the shoelace gets caught.
Uh-huh. Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola!
Hola!
All right, guys. So I had a story, but I decided to go with another one. I used to work security at Pike Place Market.
Ooh.
On the graveyard shift. So I'll set the scene for you. It's about 2 a.m, and I see a male walking up Western Avenue. And, they have those stairs that go up to the main arcade there.
Yes.
So I notice him with tools in his hand. So I radio my partners. I'm like, hey, guys, I got a suspect heading up. I think he's going to try and break into the main arcade at the Pike Place Market. And they're all like, we're on our way. So they're running as fast as they can through the arcade. And I start making my way up the stairs, like I'm really good, I'm coming around that corner, and all of a sudden I look over and we made eye contact, and he literally had a bicycle handlebar up his butt.
Oh!
Whoa!
So as a security
did you
guard,
ignore
what
it?
is your next move? Do you say you can't do that here, or you just say, look, okay.
Let me steer you out of here.
I looked at him, and my coworker came flying through the door when this happened, and we all just stared at each other in pure, absolute shock.
Okay. And what does the guy do? Does he keep doing what he's doing? Does he pull it out real quick, or what?
He's got his hands in the air, so when he stood up, it flopped right.
All right, let me ask you a question.
But wait, what's your next move as security? Do you just ask him to move along, or do you ignore that any of this happened?
Well, he was smoking crack at the same time, so we're all kind of looking at each other like, what are we going to do, and whose handcuffs are we going to use? And I turned around and I said, you guys got control of this, and I totally walked away.
Let me ask you a question. You're a high end. You're a high end triathlete. All right. That is it's a $8,000 bicycle, and it's yours. And he stole the handlebar. When he drops it from his anus, do you pick it up and put it back on your bike, or do you buy a new one?
Because it's $8,000.
This is not going to be a cheap repair. This is not going to be a cheap replacement. This is a really good bike you bought because you're professional. What do you do?
I would probably. I'm so poor as it is.
Okay, that's right. There you go. I would too. I'd be like, look, we're just going to go home. We're going to get some rubbing alcohol. I'm putting that bad boy back on.
I'm going to Lysol that thing,
yeah, exactly, man. There's no way. I'm replacing this. Who knows how long the part will take to get? Could be 6 to 8 weeks.
Right.
I'm not sure. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK. I've had glasses fall in a porta potty and picked them out and washed them off.
Because again, they cost a lot of money.
What's the difference?
I like this. Text came in. It says, Ola, I don't get why people care about nipping out. We've all got them. I've always told people it's going to happen, so happy birthday to you. It's not that we mind that it happens. That you're missing our whole point. We don't mind that it happened at all. It's kind of like if you don't wear a bra and you lean over and I can see it on your shirt, I don't mind that I get this view. That's not a problem. We're saying to seem like we are decent people, we try not to stare directly at it. Because we like it, you see. So that's all we're saying. Yeah, no complaint about it. Just, oh, man, I got to try to be decent, and I really want to look at her nipples.
Also, as a guy, one of your buddies or somebody just pointed out to you.
Oh, God, always.
Like, I was having some beers in December at a friend's house, and maybe didn't have on the warmest, like one of those kind of lightweight, long sleeve, like, it's got a hood, but it's not really a hood.
Right. Like this almost.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's like, you can go inside and cut the pizza?
Oh, damn, dude. Jesus.
I was like, you're right. I am cold. I should put on a jacket.
My bad. Hello, Derek. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, gentlemen.
Hola.
Yeah, so I worked as a car salesman for a short period of time, and I was working with a couple that had infant, and we find a vehicle, we go inside, we sit at the desk, and the mom's holding the baby, and then hands it over to Dad, and just pulls their boob out. Dad's holding the baby, and of course, I look at the boob, and then look up at Mom, and then just stare at Dad. And just start breastfeeding.
You did it in the correct order.
I look at the boob immediately.
Look at the boob before the kid blocks your view, right? I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Because once she puts that kid on there, it's not so hot. But up until that moment... Yeah. You're like, all right, man, I walked in on a woman who's breastfeeding, and I had no idea that she was breastfeeding, and I couldn't figure out why. Everyone's kind of giving me a weird look. And it was someone I knew. I did not know she would be at this place. So I'm like, oh, hey, man, what's going on? And she was chatty, but seemed a little more apprehensive than normal. Right. You know what I mean? Because we always just got along.
You should have taken your penis out just to make it up.
Well, no, I did not realize she was breastfeeding. That's the thing. I didn't realize it. So I'm talking to her for about a good 90 seconds. Then I'm like, oh, damn, I'm sorry. She's like, it's too late now. She's like,
but I didn't see anything. I wasn't even looking.
No, that's got to make you feel better.
That's just, to me, that's just natural.
It is. But it's still not something you do in public, generally speaking.
I understand that. But I mean, if in a public area, if someone's breastfeeding, that has never been a thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, everybody breastfed in my neighborhood when I was growing up. Like, everybody had younger brothers,
but
younger
it doesn't
sisters.
mean other people are going to look.
Oh, right? No, I was trying to do that.
Doesn't matter.
I got my kid. Like, right. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh, wow.
Guess what? Pooping is natural. Right. I've seen a person popping a squat on the sidewalk. Like, I felt more inclined to be looking at
the difference is I've had two roommates who poop with the door open.
Yeah.
Like as if, okay, there's one thing. You're in the shower, Ted. Okay, we live together. I will come in and pee.
Yeah.
I will come in and brush my teeth and wash my hands if I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I will not take a crap while you're in the shower.
No.
Well, if it's just two of us, no. But I lived in a house where there were six of us, and
time is money, bro.
That's the difference.
Right.
I understand.
So but also, my one roommate Steve never closed the door, and it was at the top of the stairs, one of those row houses in Baltimore. So every time you go upstairs, he'd just be like, "Hey, God damn, Steve,
just close the door. Close the door."
I had a question.
All right.
If you're home alone, do you close the door when you poop?
No.
I generally do, only because it's habitual.
All right, yeah.
I don't
well,
feel
you also
weird.
never know.
I just noticed, like, if I walk in, I close the bathroom door behind me, because generally speaking, that's how I prefer.
Sometimes I'll take a bowl in with me. So I'll close the door just so I can get the exhaust fan so my whole living room doesn't smell like weed.
Well, it's just weird. Is when when I'm at home alone and pee, I don't shut the door. But for some reason, when I poop, I'm like, I'm going to shut the door.
I don't know. I feel like that's just the right thing. Yeah. But that's just me. But when we went to New Orleans for the Super Bowl years ago, the guy that I'm rooming with, he's going to jump in the shower. Right? We are sharing a hotel room. This is the first time I've ever met him. All right? And he's a nice enough guy, whatever. But he's going to go in, he's going to take a shower. We're kind of starting our day. And I got to drop a superheater, man, because unlike him, I am boozing and eating food with Miles pretty much all the time. So I go down to the hotel lobby, and I use their big-ass bathroom.
I do that all the time. It's pro move. It's pro move.
But and it was bad. It was as bad as I thought it was. Anyway, I come back upstairs. This guy's now out of the shower. He's like, "Where'd you go, man?" I said, I just ran down to the lobby and had a deuce. And it's like, why didn't you use the bathroom up here? I said, because you were in the shower, man. Now, keep in mind, he's a former college football player, so to him,
he doesn't care.
he doesn't care, but I'm like, nah, dude. And I said, I did you a solid. You don't understand how bad those are. He's like, oh, no, man, it's okay. I'm used to it. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to poop in the bathroom if you're not taking a shower. But I made the rule, and don't you do it to me. Man, you might be comfortable that if I'm taking, you can walk in and pee. Can you not poop?
That's it.
While I'm showering. That's all.
And for the most part, even if I was sharing a hotel room with someone, and they're in there and they're taking a shower, all right, it's going to be all steamy. They got the door closed. They're doing their thing. You're on the road. You probably have traveled to be there and all that. You just want to relax. I will do the lobby bathroom.
Sure.
Easily. Go down and get a beer. Just give you your 20 minutes, 30 minutes to take a shower. Just chill out. Give you your peace.
Right.
But if I live with you, but I've had another college football roommate of mine, he would poop with the door open.
Right.
I mean, it was just, you'd walk in and go, Jesus, Ruthie, man. And even if, the thing was the living room smelled like it. So even if you weren't there, you know that he just sat there for 20 minutes with the door open, and now the entire living room smells like his ass.
Right. At least close the door for that reason.
So it just stays in a general area.
Hotel room bathrooms are tough.
They are.
Yeah.
Especially if you're sharing it with
Also,
someone.
no fan. Probably 85% of the time, there's no exhaust in there. So you have to be cognizant of that. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Corey. Welcome to the men's room. Hello, Corey.
Can you hear me?
There we go.
I had it on mute.
Okay.
I did not want you guys to hear me coughing out of lung right now.
Okay, one of those situations. So what did you have to ignore, Corey?
So I used to work with this guy who would regularly work on a house since I worked at a facility where you take care of people that are either like sex offenders, people like that. He would wet himself every day, multiple times a day, and you would have to ignore it.
What, did this on purpose?
He claimed it was a disorder to HR when people started to get really, really upset about, urine being on their coats if they sat it on the couch.
Ew, man.
So, yeah, it was really bad. And you work with people that do the same thing, so it's kind of ironic.
So he just cannot control his bladder?
He claimed that, but it was weird because some days he would go nothing, and then other days when there would be a lot of female staff, he would piss everywhere. Urinate himself.
Yeah, and if you're in a facility that's housing those type of people, I would assume he's doing it on purpose too.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah. And obviously, Corey, you fully believe he was doing it on purpose, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%. The type of person he was, I believe he was doing it on purpose.
Because he wanted you to change him?
No, he worked there.
He worked with you. Right.
Oh, he worked there.
God. All right, well, that's weirder than hell.
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
God. Yeah, it wasn't someone she's taking care of.
Oh,
this is
for some reason I thought this must be like in a senior living facility.
Because that makes more sense.
My bad.
No, this is someone.
He's an old pervert who's trying to, take advantage of the system.
God almighty.
He's an old Deshaun Watson.
Jesus.
What do you got? 10 versus the FCC and emails on the question. What did you have to ignore about someone, even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? You are listening to The Men's Room.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with this CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
And she's leaving for the couch. Taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with this CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
And she's leaving for the couch. Taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, the podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9. KISW.
Coming up, the return of Ted versus the FCC, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
And from our question, what did you have to ignore about someone even though it seemed impossible to do so at the time? Old guy's college buddy, we nicknamed him Pigpen. Horrible B.O. I don't know what his deal was, but he was stinky. I knew him after college, and that trend did continue. Went to his apartment once and was trash all over the place. What's weird is that I considered him a smart guy, just lacking some life skills, I guess. Thanks, guys. That from Jerry. I have a friend who is actually very neat at home.
Right.
Well, he's married. But you get in his car, it's every fast food bag that he's eaten in the last year.
Is it that hard to throw that
It's
stuff
just
away?
work stuff in the back seat. It's coats. There's never been a trip to the trash can from his car.
He's a car hoarder.
He's very
You know what I mean?
so,
Some
very
people,
much
like
so.
you said, their house is nice, but you get in the car and they're like, you're a car hoarder.
Yep. All the gentlemen, today is my son Sean's big 12th trip around the sun. Going to get an inspirational quote from Miles and Coach Ted giving him advice on going into the 7th grade and playing on a basketball team. That is from Elliot. Okay, let's see. Elliot, let me see. You're 12 years old. Okay. Oh, Sean. Okay. Sean, if it smells like fish. Now I'll see this one.
Oh, come on.
Sean. Bless you. Sean, remember, when you start cooking more, remember this one. Using an egg to help bread chicken is probably one of the biggest flexes that you can do to any animal on this planet.
Seventh grade's a big year. Now listen, son, coach doesn't know your height, weight. I don't know what position you're playing. So let's start down in the low block. Make yourself available. Don't get a 3-second violation. Get those hands up. When you pull a rebound down, elbows out. Maybe you're out on the perimeter. Triple threat's always going to work. Don't forget sometimes when passing, you want to fake high, go low. Bounce it in there.
Guys, big birthday shout out to my friend and former coworker Rachel, pronounced Rayho. She decided to leave us in Seattle and head to the hot death zone, a.k.a. Las Vegas. She became an avid listener of the show a few years ago and still listens every day on the Odyssey apps. Thanks for that. While we miss her 12-year-old boy sense of humor, she is probably entertaining her new coworkers and driving them to drink makers at 3 on Friday afternoons. So please, if you will, give her a suck it up cupcake, a shotgun gets, and Coach Ted giving her a pep talk on moving to a new city and making new friends. We love you guys. That from Heather Ho.
So, suck it up, cupcake!
Get!
Now, a coach knows about Vegas. My first advice would be stay in the neighborhood you're in. You could go down to the Strip and do all that, but that's mostly going to be people that don't live there. But if you're outside, what's it, Henderson? I don't know what city you live in. I would go there. Also, I'd sit at a bar. Maybe strike up a conversation with somebody. If you don't drink, maybe find a cool food scene. Is there food trucks? I don't know. Other than that, go to a park and find people doing what you like to do. Do you play Frisbee? Play Frisbee. You like soccer? Play soccer. But if that all fails, I don't know. Try to hook up with somebody.
Guys, love the show. Today's my son Nick's 22nd trip around the sun. We commute together for work every day and listen to the men's room on a ride home. Laugh our asses off during the show, and it's a good bonding moment for us. So how about a fish sandwich medley and an inspirational quote from Miles? Thanks, guys. Love the show, and keep doing your thing. That from Lyle in Auburn, Washington.
Can I get
a filet of fish sandwich?
So you know I got
I'll have a fish sandwich.
Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? Put the cheese and the tartar on the side. Is it too early for a fish sandwich? Cheese and tartar on the side. I smell the fish sandwich. Maybe some dinner relish in the morning, at noon, and at night.
Buy you a fish sandwich. So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Okay. Nick, I want you to think about this. Theme parks can snap a crystal clear picture of you on a roller coaster at 80 miles an hour. But bank cameras, they can never get a clear picture of me robbing them. Guys, hope it's not too late. I'd love to give a happy birthday wish to my brother-in-law, Eric. How about your penis is too small and a big old Leroy Jenkins, if we could. Guys, happy birthday. Oh, yeah. To our 23-year-old son, Christopher, you are smart and funny. We are proud of you and who you become and excited to see what the future holds. Love you, boy. How about an Alan Thicke lookout? And the Dirty German's talking about auto body work, which is his job. Thanks, guys, and rock on.
Uh-oh, look out. Yeah, I did not work with autos much, but I don't mind doing the body work.
Yeah, so it was that one time we were together and we met up and we did a lot of work on auto body. So I wonder where she is now, Alto.
Yeah, they called me the Ford Probe. Guess why?
Yeah. They call me the scissor lift.
Wrestling move, sex move, you decide.
Yeah. Either way, something got pounded on that body.
Gentlemen, today's my 33rd trip around the giant ball of gas, seeing as I don't have friends anymore. I have to put the crest out for myself, born in Germany and now live in the California desert. Can I get the Dirty Germans talking about the dry heat? Also, drop a roof that don't leak, if you don't mind. Thanks, guys. That from Christopher.
Yeah, anytime this dirty gentleman finds themselves in a situation that is dry, I use KY jelly. Helps me get where I need to go.
Yeah, that's also why I always keeps the lube in my lube gun. I always keeps that thing on me.
The lube gun, yeah.
It's a lube gun. So what is that? It's like I'm ready for anything, especially that dry desert. So call you.
Easy.
All right.
Guys, shut up.
It's the Germans, not me, dude.
And happy birthday to my favorite human. I'm lucky to have this handsome man, and today is his 35th trip around the sun. Been fortunate to make that journey by his side for 3 of them. He works hard for our family, gets better every year. It's a fine wine. We're both longtime listeners. Eric the electrician, this girl is crazy proud of you and super glad you were born. Wow, that's awfully nice.
Yes.
How about the Dirty Germans hitting on Shannon Sharp? Thanks for making our commute enjoyable and stay beautiful. That from the lovely Shannon.
Yes, I like the ways you play in those pads. Now I see you on the TV. I remember so one time you called in the National Guard on the Patriots.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was a good moment. I like Shannon Sharp. What part of you is Sharp, Shannon?
Yeah, you know what else? I have something on my body that's like your brother. It's Sterling.
Yeah, and I want you to think about your brother when we have sex.
But tell us.
Why does Sterling Sharp never get any love anymore?
I don't know. He was the first. I want to wish my smoke show of a wife, Kelly, a very happy 36th birthday. Love you, baby. How about some green beans and Ozzy Ted talking about how awesome yellow Labrador puppies are. Thanks, guys. That from Tim and Olive.
Green beans. Green beans.
Oh, by the way, a Green Beans t-shirt available now in the Rock Shop at KISW.com. They're stylish. We bought you a shirt that has green beans on it. That's a can of green beans.
Ted here from Melbourne. You know, down under, we just call them great pups. Why are they great pups? As they're puppies, and they grow into a lab. Sorry, I broke character, but like yellow labs are awesome. Puppies, adults, it's a great dog. Yeah, just make sure you got a chuck it on you, mate.
Guys, my dad Mark is celebrating his 65th birthday today. How about a what the hell is that? An andropenis? Maybe some advice from Thrill and Ted on how to spend the rest of his vacation in Hawaii with his family. Thanks, guys, and keep on rocking. That from Michael.
Oh, my God! What the is that, bro?
Andropenis.
Oh, Germans.
Does this person want a mobster?
He did, but I didn't have the music, and I didn't know if you guys wanted to do that, so I figured...
Oh, we could do mobsters.
You want to do all right, well, then hell with it. Go with it.
Get your mobster music.
When people like request like their stuff,
you gotta do it on the fly, Miles. We'll do it live.
No, but like, God damn it, like
you're right, Miles. But we want to do mobsters.
Hey, you hear that music playing right there?
When you hear this for your cell phone ring, you take your family in Hawaii and you tell them, hey, don't ask what I'm doing with this suitcase, why I tied it to an anvil, why there's blood running out of the side, why I'm throwing it off of a boat, and why we have to talk to your old Uncle Tony Knuckles. It's because he has 11 knuckles, and only 8 of them are on his hands.
One's deep up in Maria.
Hey. I think you remind me. You tell those people, you come to this beach, you show respect. You think this shirt comes from anywhere? No, man, it's a Hawaiian shirt. It's a Tommy Bahama.
They make those. They're from Seattle too.
You wear them there, all right?
When you talk to your kids and you say Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, Jack fell down because he's no good at his job, and that's why we put a bullet in him.
Yeah.
And now Jill understands. When I want a pail of water, you do not drop it.
Tone, you saying this drink's $15?
You know why Mary had a little lamb? Because we killed all of her sheep.
I would also just have some cocktails.
This piggy went to market, and then we ate him.
Yeah. You never heard about that last piggy? We sent him home. The dirt.
Jesus. All right, guys, here you go. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Thank you, Rob. A couple extra emails here real quick. What do we got? How did water figure into the story?
Yeah.
From a week ago or so. Gentlemen, my dad has one of those garden hose pressure washer rigs, which come with some attachments like a brush, a spray nozzle, and a high-powered nozzle that can kind of like strip moss off the concrete, paint off a car, that kind of thing. Well, one summer, Dad offered to pay my cousin a few bucks to wash my car.
All right.
He showed my cousin how to set up the pressure washer, but forgot to explain which attachment not to use. I step outside to see my cousin ripping the paint off my 94 Civic. Real fun story to explain to the guy who was buying it the next day. Take it easy, guys. That from the Hell Jumper. What else we have?
Hell Jumper?
The Hell Jumper. And one more question today. As far as what sent you to the ER. Guys were 12 years old and would go to, quote, Suicide Hill, which was this massive hill, obviously, but then at the bottom it sloped down, then right back up to another hill immediately. But at the bottom, it was muddy, and you wouldn't try to avoid the mud puddle so much, but you would try not to wipe out. I can't explain the downward force you would achieve when you hit the bottom. Well, there was our friend that never owned a bike. He was a poor kid and came to Suicide Hill one day and was so excited that someone in the group gave me a bike. Well, it was the biggest piece of S ever. Different size wheels. It didn't have a seat, but it had the post. Just the post.
Jesus.
So we went down, and this bike was wobbling and rattling. Pieces were falling off, it seemed, on the way down. His feet slipped off the pedals right before he hit the bottom, and that seat post impaled.
Oh, no.
Ripped through his tough skins and all the rest.
And his pants.
The yelp that we heard in the valley that day will never be forgotten. It was a deep purple blood, and let's just put it this way. They took him in an ambulance, and the post was still there. They closed the hill after that day. Thanks for the show, guys. That from Jay. I think it's time that
story.
We have to go back in time to the last time that we played Ted versus the FCC, so we could. Let's go back in time.
Tara likes to tweet. Tara sits under trees and tweets about twits. The twits Tara tweets about are big twits. Tara only tweets about big twits. Tweet those big twits, Tara. Tweet.
Go! Tweets as fast.
Tara likes to tweet. Tara sits under trees and tweets about twits. The twits Tara tweets about are big twits. Tara only tweets about big twits. Tweet those big twits, Tara. Tweet.
One.
Tara likes to tweet. Tara sits under trees and tweets about twits. The twits Tara tweets about are big twits. Tara only tweets about big twits. Tweet those big twits, Tara. Tweet.
Two.
Tara likes to tweet. Tara sits under trees and tweets about twits. The twits Tara tweets about are all big twits. Tara only tweets about big twits. Tweet those big twits, Tara. Tweet.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Let's go. Whoa.
Friggin' go.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? It was so good.
Now, everyone's favorite daytime game show, where one person could lose $325,000 and their job, or win walk away with nothing. It's time for Ted versus the FCC.
Do you think they're still buying this, Steve? After all these years? Are they in on it, Ted?
First of all,
you pulled the curtain back a little bit early, but that was hours ago. So
all right. I took that opportunity to legitimately on. That wasn't really on.
Man, oh man, were we up late last night?
Super late. Actually, we weren't up late last night. We were up early this morning.
However you slice it, it comes up peanuts. Either way, we came up with some really good tongue twisters there for Ted versus the FCC.
I heard that same. Comes up peanuts?
Yeah. Snickers.
Oh.
Yeah.
You don't remember that old
That was a slogan.
Yeah.
No matter how you slice it, it comes up peanuts.
Yeah.
I just know it's satisfying.
Golden caramel, all covered in delicious milk chocolate.
Yeah, well, we're old.
There we are. This is 80s stuff. Yeah. This is about a relative of yours. We got this from Roger, the substitute teacher. This is hot off the press. He just sent this in.
Just 7 years ago.
Yes, exactly. I mean, look, we say it, and this is the honest to God truth. We do take your Ted versus the FCCs, and we use every single one of them we get. However, we get a lot of them. Sometimes we put them in a file.
Correct.
Sometimes we get to them, sometimes we do not. Roger, the substitute teacher, sent this in April the 7th, 2015.
But we got to it,
But we found it, Roger, so shut up, okay? You're still alive?
Why don't you be patient?
Right. It's about a relative of yours, Seth Smith.
Oh, Seth Smith.
Yeah. Seth Smith, yeah. Apparently.
Oh, wow, good push, Mike.
God damn, dude. What are you doing?
I didn't
over
know
there?
what that was.
You're not even on mic. What are you, Wookie? Jesus Christ. Come on, Chewy. Hang in there.
Take a breath.
This week's Ted versus the FCC goes something like this. Seth Smith duck is sick. Sick ducks suck. Suck Seth's big duck. Seth sick duck sucks. The way that we play Ted versus the FCC is you need to read that one time through and then 3 times fast.
Seth and his sick duck.
Ironically, there's not actually a Smith or a Seth in my clan.
Finally admitted it's clan.
What you mean? In my family, yes.
Yes, exactly.
How do you spell that? The first letter tells me everything. C. It's like clan of the cave bear, like not seeing it.
C. Yes, that's Spanish.
Yeah.
Seth Smith's duck sick. Sick ducks suck. Suck Seth's big duck. Seth sick duck sucks.
Change that fast.
Seth Smith's duck sick. Sick duck suck. Suck Seth's big duck. Seth's sick duck sucks.
1.
Seth Smith's duck sick. Sick duck sucks. Suck Seth's big duck. Seth's sick duck sucks.
2.
Seth's duck sick. Sick duck suck. Suck Seth's big duck. Seth's sick duck suck.
2, 3, oh, shoot. Wow. Suck on it. Big win in Ted versus the FCC. You are listening to the Men's Room.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with this CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
And she's leaving for the couch. Taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, Tekono will trigger tell us for the shot of the day, and we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, a quick check-in with Mike Hawk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Why didn't that work?
Not working on.
There it is. Hang on. Let me try that again. Hang on.
Hey, Mike, before you start real quick.
Yeah.
The guy, Roger, that sent in the Ted versus the FCC from 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. He responded, wow, that's my Ted versus the FCC from
We
7 years ago.
We
Thanks.
file them. We use them. Don't think for 1 minute that we are not cognizant of that.
Did he answer the question, though?
What's that?
Is he a substitute teacher still? Is he full-time? Come on, Roger.
Roger, let us know. What are you doing now? Yeah.
Did you get married?
We've been wondering
it's been
all
7
day.
years, dude.
All right, fellas, the studies are in. Zoom fatigue is real.
No kidding.
Is it still that much of a real thing? Like I know
Yes.
that I know that working from home is still kind of becoming a regular thing, so it's still heavily incorporated in our work culture, but
it gets old I think this is what happened too. A lot of people have in fact returned to the office, but a lot of companies downsized because they got slaughtered.
Sure.
So you still have all these meetings that still take place on Zoom. And, because a lot of places it's optional if you come back to work. If 50% of you come in, 50% don't. No big deal. But if there has to be a meeting, you got to be on Zoom.
And another problem with Zoom is that it's so accessible. You needed to wait until especially with what we got going on here, we got people moving in and out of these offices all the time, so you have to schedule those meetings at the right proper time.
Right.
With Zoom, everybody's at home or they're at a computer, sign on right there. It takes no time at all. Hey, hop on a Zoom in 5
meeting,
minutes.
yeah.
Right.
I do prefer an in-person meeting. I really do.
Well, sure.
I mean, I don't like
and
meetings.
Look,
That would mean people would have to come to work.
I get it. Some people are on them all the time, but I still love the product. Keeps me in touch with friends who live overseas. And like the podcast, we've been doing it since the pandemic started over Zoom.
There's nothing inherently wrong with Zoom. Unfortunately, we're introduced to it via work, right? So, if I'm talking to my buddies, it's like FaceTime.
Zoom at work, different than Zoom at home.
Correct. Someone used the quote-unquote golden ratio to determine the most beautiful cities in the world.
The golden ratio.
What is the golden ratio?
That is a good question.
It applies to like a spiral. It's actually a mathematical equation that I don't know what their criteria is for the most beautiful city in the world, but if it's not about the layout of the city, I don't know how the golden ratio would apply. But I'm not a mathematician either.
Most of these cities are actually in the UK. 12 out of the top 15 cities are in the UK.
Okay.
Any
So the golden
ideas?
ratio was from England.
Pretty much. Any idea on the most beautiful U.S. city in the world?
Beautiful U.S. city?
I would argue during the summer, Seattle. I go against anybody.
Seattle, okay?
It depends on how you define beauty. I would say New York.
New York, Ted. Most beautiful U.S. city.
San Francisco, I guess.
That's a tough call, but I would probably lean Chicago or San Francisco.
Miles, you nailed it with New York City, number 16 on the list.
Okay.
Our
typically,
top dog,
Vienna,
16.
Vancouver, BC. I mean, there's a number. A couple in New Zealand.
And I agree with you. Seattle is a beautiful area out here. You got the sound out here.
But
You
are they
got all the
qualifying
greenery.
the city or... So in other words,
Right.
like with Seattle, we go, hey, man, you can see Rainier. Our water is blue. In the summer, the skies are gold. We got 2 mountain ranges. And they go, right, that's not your city. That's the view from your city.
Exactly.
So I don't know what they're going with.
A new poll looked at the most universal table manner rules that everyone can agree on.
All
Table
right.
manners.
Cheer with your mouth closed.
Which does bring us to...
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10.
The top table manner rules everyone can agree on. If you're going to test the table's durability through carnal experimentation, clean up after yourself.
That's a strong rule.
Sorry, Grandma.
Damn, man.
Grandma's table. That's a different
Or
level.
is he implying that Grandma left the mess? And he's saying, sorry, Grandma. Hey, you don't know. He might have a freaky grandma.
Yep.
True enough.
Well, I think about stuff like putting your napkin on your lap, right?
Sure.
That seems to be one of those things. But if you're ever in a situation, and I've got a couple of these people in my immediate family, they are napkin tuckers in their shirt, which tells me that they're not paying attention enough to the point where they've ruined shirts.
Right.
Or they're
So
old.
they're not really doing a very good job of taking that utensil and getting the food into their mouth.
Right.
It's a very weird look.
I
It's
actually
like
saw a napkin tucker, and it's been a long time since I've seen it. When we were on the East Coast this past weekend, my wife and I went to a diner, waiting for the hotel room up, and there was an older couple that came in. The waitress knew them very well. You could hear them conversational. The guy's back was to me. But at one point, he stood up to either go to the bathroom or whatever, and I realized an old dude had that napkin fully tucked into the top. And I was like, damn, you don't see that much.
No.
Because typically for me, I'm not worried about the shirt as much. I guess he doesn't care about his pants. He'll just brush it off. Whatever falls on the table.
I think some people too. That's just what they've always done.
Yeah, just have it.
I had that, taken out of me when I was a lot younger. No, that belongs on your lap, not in your shirt.
Well, like I have a weird napkin habit, right? Like I use it. I'm always worried about running out, so I kind of curl it, touch both sides, and then curl it again.
I like the move. So you're not touching the dirty part of the napkin again.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So these are the top table manners that everyone can agree on. Number 10, don't eat too fast. Unfortunately, a
situational, but yeah.
I've always been a fast eater. I'll fully admit that about myself. It's something that I didn't realize until people started pointing it out.
Well, the good news is, if you go to prison, that works in your favor.
Sure.
I only notice when we go to Red Robin, I feel like I'm taking forever. And
I enjoy the conversation afterwards.
I know, Mike's like, don't sweat it, I eat fast.
For real. I hate that about myself. I tuck in. I enjoy it. Right. I get after it, man. Number 9, don't play with your food. Yet again, for somebody like me who eats too quickly, I've never really understood how people can play with their food.
They're a child and they don't want to eat.
I don't have time to do that. I'm really hungry.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like that's just kids kind of moving stuff around. But I do like those videos of people making volcanoes with the dino nuggets and the Jurassic Park scene.
I'm also at that weird stage of life where every time I eat, I'm really, really hungry. So I never just sit down and well, I'm not really hungry, but I'll eat something. Because it's such a time with it. I wait until I'm starving.
Number 8, no burping. Which, again, pretty universal. It's funny, but it's not a noise that you want to hear at the table.
It's going to happen, but don't make it flagrant.
Right.
I mean, if we're having champagne, we're probably not in, Denny's.
Right.
These are the top table manner rules everyone can agree on. Number 7, put your napkin in your lap. Just like you said.
All right.
Do you go right thigh or left thigh?
Or do you
go an even spread?
I'm more of a right thigh guy.
I'm a right thigh guy.
I do a right thigh.
I'm left-handed.
Yeah, I do a right thigh.
See, I'm opposite like Thrill.
You're left?
My napkin always goes on my left.
What happens if you drop food on the right side?
Well, the napkin's not to stop food from getting in my shorts.
Is it?
It's for my mouth.
Is your utensil in your right hand and you grab a breadstick with the left, or grabbing? Because the napkin at the end of the day, it's for when maybe you're grabbing it to wipe your face, but mostly it's for your hands, right? You're grabbing.
Yeah, generally.
Grabbing so if you're right-handed, it doesn't make sense to be on my left side so I can pick up my napkin?
It does.
Exactly.
It doesn't make sense for me. Well, no, you're right.
Right, because you're opposite.
Damn right I do it right.
Yeah. Miles, you and I are weird.
Apparently so.
Number 6.
Miles, do you spread your whole napkin across your lap?
I do not. Just right side.
Number 6, don't just sit there in silence and eat. Make conversation.
Well, sure.
I'm chewing.
For real.
Yeah, don't talk with your mouth open, make conversation.
I'm terrible at small talk, so I let you talk.
I should have gotten something else. I picked the wrong thing.
I usually bait the other person, so how's work going?
Wait for them to put that big bite in their mouth.
That's the perfect time to ask.
The big chunk of steak. Bam. Number 5, don't make noises with your utensils, like scraping your plate or dragging your teeth across your fork.
That is very annoying.
I don't think anyone does it on purpose. I just think some people have done it their entire life, so they stopped hearing it. You know what I mean? Their forks dragging, dude, I know you don't hear this because everyone else is getting
I also want to give them plastic silverware.
Am I the only one that loses their mind and wants to punch something when somebody's eating a soup or a cereal or something with a spoon? No, and you hear it clang off their teeth.
Oh, when they...
Yeah. Also, too, if you get know your silverware, right?
Yeah.
So if you get an appetizer or whatever, or a salad or whatever your deal is before your main meal, you'll know based on your utensils what you have to work with.
Sure.
So if you put, for an example, your salad is done, if you put your steak knife or your regular knife and your fork on that plate when they take it away, when they bring you your entree, don't act shocked that you don't have anything to cook, to cut anything with. Because then they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, did I take that? Oh, okay. Now I'll bring you a new one.
Right.
You got to know that's your stuff.
No, it's
like using multiple glasses at home, kids.
Yes. Absolutely. These are the top table manner rules everyone can agree on. Number 4, chew with your mouth closed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see your food.
I am an adult, and I have still sat across from people that are chewing with their mouth open like they're 2.
Or hear it. Hearing it is almost worse than seeing it.
Criminy, man.
Well, now I'm confused. I thought I was supposed to make conversation, Mike.
Without food in your face, Ted.
All right.
Chew, then talk.
Chew, then talk. See, while you're chewing, I can talk. See, that's why I finished my food faster, Ted. Mm-hmm. You're the one that's talking during the food.
Alternate bites.
Just eating and listening.
It's like zipper merging on the interstate. You know what I mean?
There you go.
That is part of the reason I eat slow.
Yeah, because you're...
That's right, because I'll chat, and then I'll be like, I should take a bite.
Let me ask a question. Number 3, don't slurp your food or your drink. My exception, hot drinks. Tea, coffee.
Right. I'm protecting my very sensitive inner lip skin.
And fresh soup.
Yeah, if it's still steaming, but everyone will give you a few slurps on that.
Sure.
It's understood.
I tend to start with the bread when it comes to soup. All right. That way it cools it
that
up
is a good way to do it.
What
right?
about a milkshake?
You mean at the very end?
It's hard
get
not
after
to.
it. No, dig for it.
Yeah, so like milkshake gets a pass.
It's that good.
It does.
I mean, look.
If we're at a movie theater and it's a cup full of ice and you're going after it, I get pissed off. But you're absolutely right. If I see somebody over there working after a milkshake, get it, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why. You don't give it two thoughts. You're like, well, yeah, it's a milkshake.
It's like a hot fudge sundae. Very, very seldom. At the end of my meal, do I take my spoon or my finger and run it across the remnants on it. If it's a hot fudge sundae, and there's even a billionth of an ounce of hot fudge that I can recognize to be there, fingers in there, dude. And you start with the spoon, so you look civilized, and then the spoon can't get it all, and you're like, yeah, now I don't care. And you understand why I'm doing this. That's hot fudge, bro.
Then your wife remembers why she married you.
Yeah, that's why.
Clean that sundae.
Get it done.
And she gets the view from the bottom of the glass, so it looks bigger.
Number 2, Ted, don't talk with your mouth full.
Yeah, well, I don't. That's the problem. I chew my food and then start talking again.
Right. That is.
Please, if nothing else, forget that it's rude. I'm just tired of seeing people choke.
Oh, for
Stop
real.
talking. Stop talking with food in your mouth.
One thing at a time,
Tired
gang.
to see people choke.
Seriously. Jesus. I'm going to try to make it a whole year without giving a goddamn Heimlich to somebody.
You do fall into that a lot. For some reason, you're in that zone.
Oh, you want to choke? Come hang out with Ted.
So we've gotten all the way to this point. This is without a doubt the number one top table manner rule that everybody can agree on. You've learned it since you were 5. Wash your savage hands before you sit down and eat. It's gross. You've been out there shaking hands, dealing with all kinds of whatnot. Wash those bad boys.
Which is always a good rule, but I'll sit at a bar for hours, then order wings and just be like, oh, I guess I'll just eat them with my hands.
You know what? And fair enough. Also, if you're getting shared foods like nachos and whatnot, I don't want to have to be jumping in there with you. Man, wash your doggone hands.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think that's understood.
Unless you're the one guy that Miles and I bumped into, in which case, wash your feet.
Ooh.
Hey, we had a shared plate of nachos. That's all we asked.
There's a truck that spilled its
Would you share a plate of nachos with that dude?
That's all I asked. Just wash your feet.
I couldn't.
Would you share a plate of nachos with them?
He said they were the best nachos in the world. I'd be like, sorry, foot guy.
That's right. Can't do it.
I just have to go first.
Can't do it.
You got the one with all the sour cream and meat on it. How do you... I hate those people. Don't be a nacho thief.
Well, what are they supposed to do, Miles?
You dip a little bit off and put it in the
no.
They did not get a proper coverage.
The cheese is coagulated.
It did not get proper coverage, and you deserve those chips a chance.
It's
and
stuck.
you don't stick the whole
It is
frickin'
not
thing.
that person's fault that the kitchen's not doing even spread on the nachos.
No,
there's a $100 bill blowing down the street and a $1 bill blowing down. I'm going after the 100.
You evenly distribute you scrape. You make sure that
you do it before it sets.
Make sure that all the stepchildren are taken.
Do it before it sets.
Now, I'm setting a tone. This is leadership.
I'm right there to
Follow my lead. Let's eat the good part.
There's a truck that spilled its contents in Houston, and it's making people gag, Miles.
Why is that?
I'll tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. First.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is trying to contain her rage.
Michelle throws an elbow.
She's leaving for the couch.
Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
And she's leaving for the couch. Taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, the podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
So have we managed to drink it time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized.
I'll try it.
And the men's room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve at Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And, VD's in here joining us. Another space nerd.
Yep.
As a word, you'll appreciate this. Today, we chose 64-year-old French scientist Etienne Klein. Now, like a lot of us space nerds, Etienne is super excited about the James Webb Telescope, which is humanity's newest and most powerful telescope. Now, I will not bore or enlighten you with all the details, but suffice to say, the telescope itself, it's badass. And it offers us glimpses of the cosmos that we've never had before. And that is, in fact, at the heart of Etienne's recent Twitter post. Now, the post itself features a picture of Proxima Centauri. That would be the closest star to our sun. It's a big red giant star. It's about 4.2 light years away. And he has a picture of it. Crystal clear photo taken by the Webb telescope. And people oohed and people awed. And then Etienne admitted that the photo was actually a fake. It was not a picture of Proxima Centauri. Ted, it wasn't even a picture of a star. It was a picture of a slice of chorizo sausage.
Nice.
It is such a fantastic photo.
That's a great sausage.
It is. Chorizo, did you know it's the national sausage of Spain?
It should be.
I did not know that until I read the story today.
Chorizo's fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. Spread the word, especially in a breakfast omelet.
Do not spread the word.
Oh. If you ever had a ground
I don't want people to run out of
myself.
Hey, man, there's a place around here that keeps running out of turkey. You feel me?
Oh, yeah.
I don't want them to run out of chorizo.
Wow, that's chorizo.
Also, don't deny ground chorizo. Typically, sometimes slice it. Ground
sir. Yes, sir.
Different level.
So let's drink. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola, bichola.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
And today we celebrate International Beer Day on a Bad Choice Friday. And let's face it, let's be honest, give credit where credit's due.
All right.
As far as the world of drinking beer is concerned, country music dominates the genre. As far as tequila is concerned, country music dominates the genre. Today we put up Toby Keith and Red Solo Cup against Luke Combs. And beer never broke my heart. Mike, how was the vote?
A hell of a lot closer than I wanted to be, Miles.
Oh,
Ted Smith and I were watching this one very, very close because this one does strike close to the heart. Ted, grab that Red Solo Cup, buddy, and throw that bitch in the trash because beer never broke his heart.
Oh,
Luke Combs on a Bad Choice
You guys
Friday.
wanted this. Welcome to the
Crank it
weekend.
up.
You're listening to Men's Room 99.9 KISW. Seattle.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Now for all TV news all time for TV time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the men's room presents TV Time with Ted.
No jokes today, Miles.
Oh.
Well, I was the a-hole that changed my password, so my computer won't let me in.
After it asked you to change your password.
Can I be Jimmy Fallon again?
Correct. Well, that was the problem. I have them typed out. I usually print them out in the 5 o'clock hour. So Chaz, our guy, he helped me get back into my email. But I didn't think about it. I just assumed when my computer went to sleep and I went back to get back in, it would let me in. But I was wrong.
Yep.
There were some good ones in there. Some heaters.
Give us one. Do you have your sheet written down?
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't print the things I write the jokes on. I print off at 5:12, but I couldn't do that because my computer won't let me in. Yeah, I can put the jokes.
Maybe print them
Mike
off
and
at 4:37 from now on instead of 5:12.
Honestly, I went back there at 4 and it was like, nope. You're out.
Sorry.
Password changing MFer.
Here's by the way, did you complete this training module? No. You didn't?
Here's the truth about it. So, it's for security purposes. We get it. So, however many days, hey, man, change your password. Cool. The one thing we know to be true, when you change your password and then you confirm that this is your new password, all right, it punts you out or whatever you're doing, and then you come back and enter your new credentials. And 100% of the time it says, we don't know who you are.
All fairness aside.
And I could log into a different profile, but it wouldn't have my Word document with the jokes already written.
We don't know you.
In all fairness aside, I went to 2 weekends ago, I was out of town, and their entire system had been hacked by Russian hackers, right?
All right.
So they had basically said, we want a bounty to release all this stuff. This was their entire restaurant, the whole deal.
Oh, okay.
All the stuff. So
that's happened a few times.
Right. But they had to sit there and write your credit card number down, and they were demanding a ransom. Next thing you know, there's the FBI's coming tomorrow, man. We don't know, man. So there's obviously a reason for that.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, you're like, really? You go after a random ass restaurant in the middle of goddamn nowhere? Nice work, guys.
Well, yeah. It's how hackers work.
That's why there's all these protocols on your, password.
It's just infuriating when you change your own password and it doesn't let you in.
But I don't know.
And it's confirmed your password.
Mm-hmm. I confirmed this. Who are you? Never heard of it.
Our computers in our office are a little older too.
Was anybody else the junkie for football that I was that watched the second half? I know. I didn't know any of the players playing.
I don't care.
It was just fun to see people.
I knew Kyle Sloter. He played in the USFL.
I was about to say, that's got to be a spring football thing.
Goddamn right he is. So I was happy to see him out there. You know what I mean? Dude, literally, maybe has had a month off. And you go, good for you, man. Make the team. Make the squad. And that's the whole point that you were there, right?
It's also pretty early in the practice world for these guys to be going out and actually playing a game.
Yeah.
So, give them that. They're a week and a half before everyone.
But it still looks like good football. Some of the quarterback players
I'm not crapping on them. I'm just saying, look, most of the guys playing in the second half of the first game, they're a long shot to make a schedule. But I was like, I'm still going to go back and watch it.
Yeah. But they play like they're a long shot. So there's a couple of runs from a running back deep in the fourth quarter. Your team has no chance at this point. And this dude put his shoulder down and went over 3 people and got into the end zone. And I'm like, you're fighting to there's something exciting about that. Right?
For sure.
Because if you're not going to show up in preseason when you're fighting to make the roster, you definitely will not make the roster. So there is something I do, like the hits get bigger, right? These guys, they want to make that impact. And I kind of enjoyed the fourth quarter. I really did. I'm like, these are guys fighting to make the team, and you can see it.
I watched the whole thing. It was just like, it's just cool to see it. And the Hall of Fame game's not bad, too, right? Because it's Hall of Fame weekend.
Sure.
So everybody's getting inducted. So it is cool to see.
How about a referee getting inducted?
Yeah.
I've just never heard of that.
But not only that, there's man, I can't remember who it was. If you were watching it, they were interviewing him.
The safety?
Maybe. He's going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Right? Black dude. And then they asked him something. And he straight up looked at the camera and was like, they were like, something about food. And he goes, I make the best mac and cheese.
Yeah, the mac and cheese. I can't remember
who it was. America, I'm telling you right now, don't bring anything other nonsense. He's like, my mac and cheese is the best. And I was sitting there on my couch I believe him.
Oh, wow.
Because when you went through the whole thing, they're interviewing, hey, you're getting inducted into the Hall of Fame this week. And I'm really proud of that, man. But, it really comes down to the teammates that you play. Somebody said you're the best of your position. Oh, man, that's really gracious. I hear you make good food. My mac and cheese.
Right.
You're right. All humility left. Ain't messing with the mac and cheese.
I really like Dick Vermeil, right? Mm-hmm. I think he's just one of those guys you would love to play for, this and that.
Crowns?
Well, not that, but
I kept looking at his teeth like they are too white and too perfect. There's no way those are yours. All right.
But he's kind of known as a crier.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Right? So then I like when they ended the interview, good luck to you. He's like, I'm going to struggle through it. And even the reporter kind of giggled. It's like, yeah, you're Dick Vermeil. We all know you're going to cry.
We know you're going to cry.
If he didn't cry, I'd
be upset.
You'd be like, wow.
They did make a good point about Dick Vermeil yesterday that I just didn't think about. And it was Aaron Andrews, I think, was doing the interviews or whatever. But she said, dude, you realize you've been depicted as yourself in 2 different
different movies.
Damn, that's cool. That's really freaking cool in 2 separate teams, man.
So Tony Baselli gets in, tackle for the Jaguars. Cliff Branch, wide receiver for the Raiders. Leroy Butler, Packers, they basically.
Yeah, that's who it was. The mac and cheese guy.
Yeah, right. Sam Mills, who actually played and coached for the Ravens for a while, but known for Carolina. Richard Seymour, also in, and Dick Vermeil. Brian Hill.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought Jim Johnson going in. So Grey's Anatomy. The show might
on the air.
Right, and it might outlast Dr. Meredith Grey. Show's entering its 19th season, and a new report says Ellen Pompeo is expected to appear in 8 episodes, which is about 1/3 of the season. She may continue to narrate, but that's not guaranteed.
But she's also one of the producers on the show, I believe. So I think she might be like, look, man, I'll do the production thing.
And her role, like they say, her role's been shrinking in recent seasons. She's moved on to star in another series on Hulu, but it's just weird that, like, they haven't said if the show's going to end yet or not. It would just be weird because it's Grey's Anatomy that, like, Dr. Grey isn't there anymore. I am still shocked it's on, but that thing was a monster.
I mean, it is. I've seen episode. Obviously, it is not my favorite show by any stretch. My wife has watched it as best I can tell since it's been on.
Is she still watching?
She sticks with it, man. And
all right, those people have to be there. So I remember people would have, like, Grey's Anatomy watch parties.
Yeah.
But now with the advent of DVR and everything, like, you don't have to be there to
But
see
she's
it.
still on it, man. I mean, like, she's still watching. She goes, look, I like the show. Good for you. Good
What do you
for
think is
man.
the longest, and it could be reality, whatever. What do you think is the longest running show you watch consistently?
That I've watched it.
Taking
sports out. I mean, consistently, or we'll still check back in.
Man,
so like I can't watch it on a constant basis because mine are daily.
I mean,
so
for
like,
a while,
I still have Jeopardy. I will still watch Price is Right when it's on. There's a few that I'll always be like, okay.
When's the last time you watched Price is Right?
Price is Right. I can't tell you
when they did the nighttime shows where I could watch it, but I've been watching it since a kid.
I will say I'm
no. I'm
better about.
I'm thinking more like an actual TV show, right?
Right, yeah, the game shows.
The game show and sports, I think, are kind of different, right? Because you can check in on Jeopardy when you know what I mean. Like, I wouldn't say I've watched. That's a tougher one. You're right. I watch Jeopardy once in a while. I think for me, one of them is Deadliest Catch.
You know what? That's a good call. You've been on that one for a while. Expedition Unknown,
Frontline.
That's a good one. Frontline.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. You know what? What's funny though, man? Almost to your point. The shows that I've watched the longest, most consistently, are typically on cable, and they're typically like Discovery or Nat Geo, or so. You know, they're not sexy shows; they're just shows that really hit your interest.
Correct, but they haven't been on for a number of years. Like those, some of those are like close. I watch a lot of those. I think he's saying like longevity show. Like, what is that one show? Like Family Guy. Or something that's been on for
I did well with The Simpsons for a while, but they've been on for 30-some years.
But I fell off.
But I watched it for like 10 years consistently, which is more than I watch any, kind of pre-programmed show. It's just that even though I haven't watched in 20 years, they are still there. Yeah. But I mean, every week you could count on me. And again, I put in a decade worth of work.
Yeah, that's a good call. I would put Family Guy in there. I bet I still watch it. Like, when they have new episodes, I still watch at least 2 new episodes a month.
South Park.
Yep.
Yes. See, in South Park, I'm very...
I'm sporadic,
hot and cold with. Like,
but I feel like
when I'm off South Park, like, I just won't watch it for years.
But it's one of those shows, and I do the same thing. But it's one of those shows where people will watch it every week. They have watched it every week for how long has it been on now?
25 years.
20.
South Park was on when I was in high school.
Okay, right. And it's still okay. So Stephen Colbert, I religiously watch. He has not been on that long, and I mean,
longer than you probably think.
I'm sure. The older I get, it's always like, it's been on that long.
Yeah, but again, I'd almost put the late night talk shows into the sports realm only because they don't change hosts that often.
Right. So between 8 and 11, basically.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people, doesn't matter who the host is, they watch The Tonight Show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Carson to Leno to Conan, back to Leno to Fallon.
I'd be curious to know the number of people, because I do not watch these shows, but your network morning show, Good Morning America, Today, they're just not my speed. They're not built for me. I don't care. But there are some people that watch them every single morning, and not for news. It's one thing to watch the news. You watch the news because you want to be informed. But shows like that, they'll give you some news, but otherwise it's mostly fluff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people get really attached to who it is that's hosting. I love me some Al Roker. It has nothing to do with this weather. They love Al Roker. They're like Savannah Guthrie because they like people that don't breathe when they talk. That's why, that's what I'm saying, like Grey's Anatomy or NCIS, it's so impressive. Jesus, right, it's another one.
Because not only have they been on forever, like, people still watch them.
Right, the ratings are still good.
Yeah, like, I'd have to look up Grey's, but I know NCIS still gets good ratings, and it's like, holy cow.
Other than weekends, I never turn on the TV in the morning. I know that sounds strange. I turn on the radio in the morning. I listen to the radio every morning when I get up.
I don't turn the TV on, but the TV is on when I get up.
TV does not get turned on in my place until I get home. So, I miss the whole window of the whole day.
But I realize it kind of aggravates me. Again, I don't turn it on. My wife's always up before me, guaranteed. So I'll go into the home office, start prepping for the show, and I can hear bits and pieces of what's trickling out of the living room. And the thing is, she's not really watching it. It's just on. But it is what it is. I'm sure people love them, but I'm just like, oh, my God. The network morning shows, for whatever reason, they bug me. It might just be because I'm an a-hole. I definitely hold out that that's possible.
I'll get up after about 5 minutes. I almost always put on some kind of either Sports Center.
Sure.
Or I really like Get Up on ESPN just because there's so many different guys.
I do like Good Morning Football. God damn. It can be much.
I know why.
There's nothing. There's nothing
I
going
know
on.
why.
But, no, I was like, F her, dude. She does a good job. She's very hot.
Who?
But I'm listening. I don't even know her name.
Kate,
Kay Adams is gone.
Yeah, but I don't watch it.
Yeah.
I just listen. Yeah.
Right. And NFL Network, to their credit, they're on all year round. But, I don't watch much of it outside of, this. Now I'll start watching it.
Sure.
When I got back from the festival, the first thing I did was put on NFL Network. So I was like, I gotta see some sports. Which is fine. I'm at a festival. I don't need to watch sports there. But after 4 or 5 days, you got to tap the vein and be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Are guys wearing shells? Are they actually hitting? But yeah, Grey's Anatomy. So, right. If they phase out Dr. Grey, I'm sure old school fans would care, but I don't know if you've jumped on that bandwagon recently, maybe you just don't care. Because you just watch the show now. All right, you know what? I got a whole list there of actors that make $1 million in TV. Yeah. I'll get to it another day because it's just funny because they're almost all big-time movie actors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they getting paid more, you think, because they're also movie actors? In other words, you command more money because it's like, hey, dude, I don't need to do this. I can.
We talking like George Clooney from ER and all that?
No, you're talking about hey, you're coming in and doing 2 or 3 episodes. No. You're doing a cameo or you're the star. Yeah.
Right. They're stars on TV shows. I just think it's funny that it's look at the TV stars who get paid this much money. It's well, they were all giant, pretty much
because they're A-listers. Do you remember the time when either you did TV and you were frowned upon by the serious actors, or you did movies and you were the envy of TV actors, and now they just go back and forth, which I think is a brilliant, good thing.
You're acting.
Oh, yeah.
And you're acting.
The screen is the screen. Yes. If you do theater, that's different. Tony should be different.
Theater's
I agree
different
with that.
Because there's a way you have to do it, right?
I mean, there was a definite weird system back in the day as far as if you do TV, you can't do movies, and vice versa. And it was just this dumb thing that they put in place because sometimes that's what entertainment does.
But here's the thing. So my daughter this morning, this is no lie, I did not know what was going on. I just heard a bunch of music exploding out of the TV. And I heard my wife say to my daughter, your dad does not want to see it, something. So I walk into the living room. This is this morning before I come to work. And she is watching basically a telecast of Hamilton, the musical. Right? They've taken a video and they've now put, and I don't know what streaming service, whatever. I have seen Hamilton. It is fine. I'm just not a person who likes musicals. So my daughter says, Mom says you don't like musicals. I said, baby, I don't. But I'm not trying to ass on her parade. So I go, well, they're just not for me, but enjoy this. There's some historical context. There's nothing wrong with knowing things, right? She's watching it. Fast forward. When I come to work, she's still watching it. I'm in the car with my wife. My daughter texts, and she's texting to my wife about Hamilton.
All right.
So I guess the deal was my wife had said to my daughter, I will take you to go see Hamilton, stage production, but see if you like it first, all right? Because the cast always changes all this stuff. So my daughter, she broke it down by bullet points. It says, 1, thanks, but I'll pass on the live performance because I don't like big audiences. I don't want to be around a bunch of people. 2,
I don't like big audiences.
What if people stand up in front of me I can't see? I'd explain to her, it's a theater, dude. It's not what
fair question.
No, but 3, and this is the one where she was 100% correct, and it says, quote, you know me, I'll probably chat too much. I looked at my wife and I said, that's the one.
You can be.
That is the
just
one.
Like Sean.
Right.
I mean, making all the noise.
Right. Merido's got a lot of games this weekend. I think they got a double dip on Saturday.
They did.
Oh, really? Who are they playing?
1-7 against the Angels.
There you go.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
And she's leaving for the couch. Taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go to Florida, where 18-wheeler cooks Thanksgiving dinner for 10,000 families in need. Meanwhile, a Florida woman says her husky named Loki is a hungry dog indeed. Scientist uses his gumbo telescope to spot objects far out in space. A goat needing his necklace goes into a jewelry store and finds a perfect pendant in a case. And the Houston residents smell the cow, the parts they did not barbecue. Time for your headline.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cop.
At our top story, we go to Houston for a particularly disgusting story. This one's just doggone nasty.
But funny because it happened to them.
Yes, because it's so far away from us.
But you earned that.
Right. Let's see. Not much is known about the situation, but a truck accidentally spilled some of its contents as it was making its way through a local intersection. Unfortunately for the locals, the contents, trigger warning, man, were the entrails of cattle that were making its way to their final destination.
But we should point out, when we looked at the story and saw the picture, whatever you think, it's more than that.
It's disgusting.
It is unbelievable.
It looked like the scene of a Saw film in the middle of a doggone intersection.
It is unreal.
It looked like the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, God. Ted, you know this stuff. Isn't that basically... Is that
tripe?
Tripe. Like, yes. Why would you throw away something that you could use?
Very few people eat tripe.
And brother.
But you couldn't ship like that out? Like it's haggis?
You think they were throwing it away?
Well, I don't think
it's rendered
for something. Yeah. I mean, you put that crap in a truck, I figure it's on its way to...
I mean, half of it is the casing for sausage. I mean, it's just...
It's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't you using the whole
that's the intestine.
Right. Okay, but look at it like this. Say it wasn't the intestines, it's just the cow carcasses. And it spills on the road.
We've seen that.
Still gross.
Yeah, but there's no meat. No meat spilled. It was all organs.
Have you seen the murder truck coming down I-5?
Yes.
That thing is brutal.
I know.
It also, I mean, look, it could have been going to a food place. It also just could have been like that slaughterhouse, just like get rid of this.
I mean, dog
either
food,
way,
something, anything.
But once the intestines spill in Texas heat and August on asphalt.
That's like living in a microwave.
I get that. I'm just wondering, where was this truck headed?
Probably to a processing plant
I
of some
hope
kind.
So.
Or my uncle's go to a butcher or your uncle's house.
Just saying, man.
I've never tried tripe, but you know what? I liked haggis, so I got a feeling I'd like tripe.
Yeah. I would try tripe if my uncle made it, because I know it's slow cooked in a barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
I did the barbecue, I did the blueberry.
You put some rice in there? You turn it into boudin?
Yeah, boudin.
Yeah. Let's go. The organic smell is bad enough on its own, but combined with the summer Houston heat, it's causing some stomachs to turn. They're still working to clean the area, but the smell is expected to remain for some time. It's just cooking, man.
That is awful.
It's just cooking.
Oh. I mean, Houston is so hot.
On the asphalt in Texas heat, brother.
A couple in Florida have lost their dog, thank God, after authorities got their hands on some nasty evidence. And Miles apparently doesn't know about Greek gods. No. Is that Greek?
I like crunchy preferred
Norse gods, my bad.
Skippy peanut butter.
Police invaded the home and managed to seize a flash drive that had a folder titled XXX Sex Videos Loki. Not Loki there, Miles. Loki.
Oh, sorry.
It should be noted that the name of the dog was taken from the couple is named Loki. I won't dive too deep into it. They're called Sex Videos Loki. We all know about the peanut butter trick.
We know what's happening.
The thing is that the woman didn't use peanut butter. She called him a curious dog.
He's not curious.
And has been accused of 30 to 50 sex acts with the animal over the course of 8 years.
If I hide Alpo in my underwear while I'm wearing my underwear, my dog's not being curious. My dog's being a dog.
Right. You're still allowing your dog to do that. Stop it.
I'm a curious dog.
She and the man behind the camera were both arrested.
Good.
And the dog was seized. Like, man, come on.
Jesus.
There's few rules that I think are universal here. I mean, you can justify a lot. That's not one.
That's not one of them. It's not one of them.
To Spain for a more positive animal story. Authorities were called to the local city center on reports of a goat that was loose in the area. Officers eventually got to the animal, but it managed to smash through a jewelry store window, doing some damage inside the shop before they were able to trap the animal in the bathroom. They called a pair of shepherds to corral the animal beyond that point and are still trying to figure out just how it came to be on its own in the middle of town.
That is a good question. You know, what's weird, man? So I read that story, and then it has links to similar stories, right?
Okay.
Yep. But all these similar stories are like in the last week. There is a monkey somewhere in Florida they can't find. There's a kangaroo in some other U.S. state they can't find. It is amazing the number of right. And you're just like, why is there a monkey?
Alabama, sorry.
A lot of people not paying attention to their animals. That is it for your headlines with that, Mike Hawkins.
Thanks, really appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. The Men's Room Happy Hour is up next exclusively on the Odyssey app.
Yes, indeed. In the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so, even though you hold us to it. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
Welcome to the CPAP Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night, Bruce.
It sure is, Ron. Steve has been flailing everywhere, struggling with his CPAP.
His wife, Michelle, is as tense as a fiddle string, trying to contain her rage.
Michelle's rolling Steve over.
There he goes, and the mask is off. Oh, my, the snoring.
Michelle throws an elbow, now a shove.
As she's leaving for the couch, taking her place is the Hayes' 100-pound lab. Bask in that dog breath, Steve.
With all this struggle, Steve should get Inspire.
Absolutely, Bruce. Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable, restful sleep with the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. There's no mask and no hose. Just sleep.
Learn more at InspireSleep.com. That's InspireSleep.com.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at InspireSleep.com.